What if the Russians would have won the quote-unquote Cold War? What if we would have had nuclear? What if the Cuban Missile Crisis actually turned into something rather than becoming a nothing burger? I thought you were just about to say from a neo-Nazi, and I was like, don't. The sheriff's department will put up, like, the days or the week's mugshots. Bet you're going through that and there's a fucking picture. Why are you so mad about vegetables?
Well, let me tell you, they just sit in a wheelchair all day doing nothing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pornstar Birthdays podcast, episode 50. I'm here with Colton.
50 episodes.
50 episodes. We got some
Holy shit.
stats for the 50 episode because I did it, I did it for our 10th episode or something like that. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it like every milestone episode.
Just, 50,
50,
100, 101, 102.
Yeah,
The usual.
The usual.
All right, well, anyways, what's some stats before we get into that? The reason there wasn't an episode last week is because of a little bit of a miscommunication. So we recorded episode 40.
Yeah, you
we
fuck.
recorded episode 49, which ended up being a little over 3 hours long. So I was like, you know what? Let's split that up into 2 episodes because if you remember from a couple episodes ago, Dylan had to go to the hospital because he had a pee without nist stuck in his throat. And I thought last weekend, being the last weekend in October, he had to go back to the hospital to get his a balloon basically shoved down his esophagus and enlarged and puffed out to enlarge it. I thought that's what he had to do. No, he just had to schedule an appointment for last weekend to go do it. And so last weekend, it could have done it, but we were like, well, there's a reason why we didn't do it. We were going to on Sunday, but then Saturday I went to the Michigan State game,
Yeah,
and then Sunday,
throw it a bunch.
yeah, and apparently I needed my fucking esophagus enlarged because Sunday came around, I was like, it was not good. Yeah, it was not good. So no episode last week. But here we are, episode 50, day late, a week short, or a week late, just like Dylan's period. Wait, I've said that joke before. Still funny. Still checks out. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. There we go.
God damn it, I just reopened Riverside. Son of a bitch.
All right, that's all right. I can still hear. So what are some stats you got for us there, Dylan?
Stats. So these are about a week old. Some of them aren't so much. Sorry, I'm also bringing up some other things. So, we have 932 all-time downloads. That's what Podbean said. U.S. has 202. Not surprised. Brazil has 43. Canada has 15. China has 10. Bangladesh has 5.
They have internet in Bangladesh?
UK has 1. Russia has 1. And
you're telling me...
Unknown has 1.
Back the fuck up. Bangladesh has more than the goddamn UK. A country that does not speak English has more downloads than a country that has proper English there, mate. Here we go.
Tuesday, innit?
You go shiggy, mate.
And you all got a shiggy, mate. Most downloaded place. So this is where we're getting most of our downloads from.
Dylan's mom's
Love
anus.
F, which don't know why.
Love F?
Yeah, it's 210. Google Chrome 55, Apple 8, and Spotify 3. Oh shit! Speaking of Spotify, I got to bring that up too. But
yeah, I'm gonna make you fucking busy for that when we get around to it.
On YouTube, please subscribe. No, YouTube we have 10 subscribers.
Woo!
And our highest viewed video is episode 47 with 944 views. The second highest is right next to it, episode 48 with 116. Twitter, we have 29 followers, which most of them are bots, those little bastards.
Hey, to be honest,
that's pretty much it right there.
You want to know what this little bastard did, right? So I was trying to figure out who was following us on, or who was subscribed to us on YouTube, and if they're a bot or not. So I was gonna, kick them. And then Dylan's like, hey, go hit refresh. I'm like, why? He's like, hit refresh. So I hit refresh. It went down one because the fucker went and unsubscribed like you little asshole. Son of a bitch.
Dick.
Jesus. So yeah, we're hanging in there. Maybe by
about
by the time we're like 50, yeah, we might have 100 subscribers. So, but all right, let's get down into it. So we'll have our normal stuff. We'll go over. We have a very special Stupiders list, not the normal Stupiders list. A special edition of that. Functional Idiots React makes a return. And, of course, you have to have your Functional Idiot of the Week. But I alluded to that I went to the Michigan State game last weekend, which would be October 25th, I think it was, or 26th, whatever day it was. Doesn't matter. That was the first time I had actually ever been to a Michigan football game, and also the first time I've ever been to the Big House. So it was me.
Hold on. You're fucking telling me, as a Michigan State fan, which is what I am, sorry, I've been to the Big House before you?
Yes.
That's
you gotta remember, for the first 17 years of my life, I basically played hockey every weekend. Didn't give me a lot of free weekends to go see Michigan football games.
That's true.
So kind of that's a little bit of a hang up, considering Michigan plays football right at the same time I'm playing hockey. A little difficult there. So been to lots of Red Wings games, don't worry. But and before what kind of annoyed us is that it took until 2 weeks prior to the game for them to say what time the game was. And it's like, we were really hoping it wasn't going to be a night game, because there were 6 of us that went, and none of us really wanted it to be a night game, right?
Yeah.
Because nighttime in October could get fucking cold, and if the weather's shitty, that's really going to suck. Well, come to fucking find out, it's a 7:30 game, and then neither of the big cable network, not cable, I'm sorry, none of the big networks want it, so it's on the fucking Big Ten network. Yes, a rivalry game on the fucking Big Ten network, so there was tens and tens of TV viewers, I bet. There was probably more fucking people at the stadium watching than there was on TV.
That's wild.
So we showed up, we bought, because of course we tailgated, right? And where we tailgated was at Pioneer High School, which is like across the intersection diagonally from where Michigan Stadium is. And it was, we tailgated there, and I brought my truck. Now, I've said before, I have a 2021 Ford F-150 with the Power Boost. And so with the bigger battery, I have 4 120-volt outlets in my tail, or my bed, plus a 220 out or 240 outlet. Obviously, we don't need a 240 outlet because we're not going to be fucking welding anything. But I'm going to tell you right now. Now, when Ford first came out with the Power Boost, which is their hybrid system in their F-150s, they were marketing it as more towards construction, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you could, because they do make 120-volt welders, you can plug a welder into it and weld something, right? And then, because what it's called with the outlets in the back, it's called Pro Power Onboard. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place right now. And you can get that on any F-150, regardless of what, and you can get it with the 5-liter, the 2.7, the 3.5-liter, or also with the Power Boost. You can get it, so it's just a package. But the special part about with having it on the Power Boost is that with all the other engines, when you turn on generator mode, which then activates the plugs in the bed, the engine stays running the whole time until you turn off generator mode. Then after, then there's a timer, the engine will shut off. But when you turn on generator mode, it will leave the motor running the whole time. We'll never shut it off. Yeah. Well, with the Power Boost, it'll turn on the engine because there's an alternator or a generator that the engine will spin to charge the hybrid battery. It'll just turn on the engine when it needs to. And then when it says, okay, I have a certain amount of charge that should last this long, it'll shut the motor off. And so, and I think it probably only turned on the motor maybe about every 30 minutes, and it would run for about 5 minutes, and then it would shut off. And then it would go for about 30 minutes. It would turn the engine back on, run for like 5, maybe 10 minutes because we plugged like 3 crock pots into it one time, so we were pulling some serious wattage. But then it would shut off. So that was really nice. I think Ford's going all about the marketing. They need to market it as the Power Boost is the perfect truck for tailgating because you don't need to run the engine the whole time. So that you have to, so you're not bothering people with fucking fumes from the exhaust and all that shit. And you can pull 2,400 watts out of those 120 volt outlets before the truck starts really bitching. So, I mean, so plug it in like we had 3 crock pots plugged in, and I also plugged in my computer because there was 2 NASCAR races that day that I just put on my computer and then, which occasionally watch or whatever. But that is the best option because in the parking lot, you can't have generators, right? And stuff like that. So basically it's like a cheat around the generator system. Or not allowing to have generators in the parking lot for tailgating. I think that's how Ford needs to market it. This is the perfect option for tailgating, especially up north when it comes to football season and it starts getting cold. Down south, it doesn't really matter as much because it doesn't get super cold, but especially up north, because then if you're I'm getting a little chilly. Here, let me go sit in a nice warm truck for 10, 15 minutes and warm back up. Oh, it's already nice and warm, sweet, and then you're ready to go fucking get sloshed again. So, yeah, that is. That is the fucking, as they'd say, the cat's meow, or the bee's knees, when it comes to tailgating, is having an F-150 Power Boost. But we had that. I think we got there the parking lot wasn't supposed to open till noon. I think noon. Yeah, noon, and we got there at 11:30, and there was already people there. So, we just rolled right in, right? They didn't care. And so, it was a lot of fun. Definitely would go back. I mean, we had a shit ton of fun. The most I've probably ever drank in my life in one day. That's without a doubt. Kind of expected. Again, you're tailgating, Who goes and tailgates and I didn't drink any alcohol? What are you, fucking 12? What do you mean you didn't drink any alcohol? So I didn't get myself sloshed. I still remember the whole day, right? I remember the whole day. And I didn't go off the wagon completely when it came to drinking, but when it came to the game, it is something because you said you've been to the big house, right?
Yeah,
that is something else. Having 110,000 people packed inside of that thing.
Oh my god! We had 112 when I went, and oh my god, dude, they messed up one call, and everybody was like, "Boo, boo." The entire stand's vibrating. I'm like, from fucking voices? Where the hell am I?
No, it's ridiculous. Because there was one time that there was a missed call that there was a face mask that wasn't called, that should have been called. And yeah, the whole stadium just boo, fucking just like, Jesus Christ, my fucking insides are shaking. God damn. But going, for weeks prior to the game, because my brother's girlfriend is a Michigan State fan, and we, and obviously you're a State fan, so we're like shitting on you, like, yeah, we're gonna fucking kick your guys' asses. Yeah, it's fucking over. Why you gotta even bother showing up? And then it turns out Michigan sucks. And so, like, going into the actual game, I was like, yeah, Michigan's not gonna win this game. It's not gonna happen. They fucking are trash. And it was looking like that for a first little while. But you thought a stadium of 110,000 people booing was something else. Imagine a stadium of 110,000 people laughing when the Michigan State kicker missed a fucking 25-yard field goal attempt. Oh my god, like, bruh. How do you miss? And there was some Michigan State fans behind us, and they were disbelieving, like, he's been making 50-yarders, like, he made like 50-yarders like 5 times this year, and he missed a 25-yard chip shot. Youch. Oh my god. Big oof. And then finally Michigan State scored a touchdown or whatever. And of course, they're up like 7-0. And they were, the Michigan State fans are getting a little, they're getting a little righteous. So I had to fucking put them in their place after a while. Like, hey, at least you guys scored points this year. And they looked at me and they're like, damn, we can't even get mad at that. That's true. That was so fun. Damn, can't even get mad at that. That was so good. But yeah. And then when the second half started, and then Michigan State forgot that halftime was over because Michigan just kind of waltzed right over them. Yeah, that was fun. That was a ton of fun. If I imagine it doesn't matter what college football stadium you go to, Michigan State, Penn State, Texas. I'm sure Texas is fucking rowdy as all hell. Oh, tailgating down there. Oklahoma, Alabama, fuck Ohio State. No one wants to go there. That would be a ton of fun. If you want to go if you have a group of you got like a group of 5-6 of you, go tailgate at a college football game. It is a ton of fun. 'Cause, I mean, there was Michigan State fans, mixed a bunch of all the Michigan fans where we were tailgating. And I mean, it was all, no one had issues. We're all just having a great time. We're fucking talking with the people next to us, having a great, a bunch like that. We're giving them fucking Jello shots and shit and playing cornhole with them. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Definitely something that more people should go do because it is a lot of fun.
I haven't gone tailgating, but yeah, I've heard it's quite a bit of fun.
It's fun. Where we tailgated, it was $90 to go park there, so I think that helps keep a lot of the rowdiness out of it because it does cost $90 for one vehicle to park there.
Yeah.
So that keeps a lot of your stupid out. But yeah, that was fun. And right at where Pioneer High School is it's you could just stay right on that road and it'll take you to I-94. So it's the way that Michigan State came in, and they had a police escort in and out of the stadium, right? All their buses and stuff. And so after they left, we told them they were number one when they went by. But it was funny because we could hear them because we were sitting there after the game because there was a bunch of traffic. So we're like, fuck it, we got some more food left. Just fucking plug the crock pots back in and eat some more of this goddamn sausage dip that we brought and some chili. And we kept hearing
sausage dip.
Huh?
What's in your sausage dip?
Sausage, cream cheese, and Rotel tomatoes.
Okay, solid.
Delicious. Here's a recipe for y'all. 1 pound of sausage. Bob Evans, Jimmy Dean, whatever you like. 1 pound of sausage. 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, preferably Philadelphia, because that's good cream cheese. Mm-hmm. And then 1 regular size can of Rotel tomatoes. That's it. Put it in a crock pot. Mix it up. Good to go. Eat it with tortilla chips. Delicious.
We also have a sausage dip.
Well, you are a dipshit, but what is your sausage dip? Oh, shut up. What is it?
Yeah, we're going to let you simmer in that stew right there that you just absolutely butchered. Dipshit, shut up, and then stuttered.
Because I thought you were thinking sexual, and you're like, oh, we also have a sausage dip.
No, you fucking... What? How is that sexual?
Sausage dip? What are you going to dip it in?
Pussy?
Yeah. But then you said you're going to let that... But then you're like, oh, we're going to let that simmer. And I was talking about putting it in a crock pot. Yeah, boo womp.
Okay, I didn't... No, that was pun not intended. So we take 2 pounds of sausage, 2 bricks of Philadelphia cream cheese, 1 cup of sour cream, green onions, chop those up, or the spring onions, whatever they're fucking called.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Garlic powder, pepper, salt, and then jalapenos. Dude. Oh! So fucking good.
See, that is, like, the one thing about the one I said is that it's a lot easier. Because all you need to do is just cook the sausage, and then you just drain out some of the water in the can of Rotel tomato, most of the water, and then you just put it in the fucking crock pot, and then you just mix it every once in a while.
I think I'm going to try that. Yeah, you do the same thing. You put it in the crock pot, too.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that, except instead of jalapenos, I'm going to use the...
We don't put jalapenos in ours.
I'm going to put the Rotels. Whatever.
Just do the Rotel tomatoes.
Try the Rotel.
Because you could get different...
Salsa would be good, too.
No, salsa, because it's too runny. You don't want it too runny.
Yeah, but if I have 2 blocks of cream cheese, I don't think it's going to be runny much.
Yeah, it is. That's why you have to drain out the Rotel tomatoes, because if you're not, it'll be just a soup, and it's not very good then.
Yes, soup.
Get your soup ladle out, like your kitchen. Soup kitchen.
Soupy.
Yeah. No, that is, but then I also brought, we made up a crock pot, another crock pot full of beer brats, and here's the beer brat recipe, all right? You take a package, or you take Johnsonville Stadium brats, right? You cook them on the grill. You put them in a kettle, or in our case, we put it in a crock pot, and then you take some chopped up onions, or sliced, You don't dice them up. You still leave them, depending how you cut it. I'm not going to explain it on here, but the way we cut it, it's not really slivered either because they're kind of like big pieces. But it doesn't matter.
Onions.
Yeah, sure. If you want to go with that or whatever, it doesn't matter how you want to do it. But just an onion. We do sweet onions rather than regular onions. And beer. That's it. That's all it is. Beer? Yeah, you don't need to get good beer. Like we did PBR, good enough. You just fill it up. I think we did 24 brats with 1 onion and then 8 cans of 12-ounce PBR, and it filled up our crock pot. It was perfect. Beautiful. And you just simmer it for once the brats look like wrinkly old man penises, that's when they're ready to eat. That's when you slab it in your bun with some mayonnaise and some ketchup and some mustard. Oh, fuck me. Shut me down. I have to
try a brat with sauerkraut and mustard. I heard it's pretty good.
Oh, kind of like Chicago. No, that's not Chicago dog style.
I fucking hate sauerkraut. I don't know.
I don't like sauerkraut. I only like sauerkraut on a Reuben.
I don't even eat Reubens.
Because you're a communist.
No, I'm not. I eat mayonnaise. That's more American than what you could get, dude. That's literally a jar of fat.
What the fuck does that guy do with Reubens, though?
I don't know. I don't eat Reubens, though. That's not a fucking American staple. That's like some shit you'd see in like Canada or some shit.
Technically, it's some shit you'd see in I don't know. Europe.
Brianna just said sauerkraut's good.
See, she knows what's up. I mean, you're not gonna see me sitting there with a fucking jar of it, like, oh, time for some dinner. You're not gonna see me doing that. Jesus.
Speaking of jars, I don't know why, but I just remembered this. Did I ever tell you when I couldn't smell or taste anything and I got worried? But it was just my sinuses clogged up because
I don't think you had.
Okay, so my sinuses were like really bad, like enough to where I thought I had COVID. Couldn't smell nothing. I'm like sitting there with like a garlic jar, nothing, smelling it. Dude, I took a little spoonful, put it in my mouth. I was willing to go the distance to see how bad it was. Yeah, I tasted that shit. And I was like, instantly spit it into the trash, and I was fucking worried. I was like, oh my God, that was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, Dylan's over there's hat. No, those are some fantastic recipes. If you just want something simple, and it's like the beer, it's perfect for tailgating or perfect if you're going to have a party because once you make the brats, you can make everything before people show up. In our case, I made the brats Saturday morning and then put them in the crock pot with the beer and the onions. That's it. That's all we had to do. We plugged it into one of the outlets in my truck on the way there so they could simmer and stuff. But then, yeah. That's it. It's so easy to do because you could do everything beforehand. So then when you actually get there and tailgating, you don't have to like, oh, I need to pull out the grill. I need to get my burgers out here and all that shit. And yeah, that was something I would love to do again. Not this year because there's not another Michigan game I want to go do this year because they're probably going to lose. I think they're playing Oregon today. I think they've already played actually. So they probably have gotten shit on. Let's see actually. Let's see, Michigan football. Have you guys fucking got your ass whooped by Oregon? Oh, they're playing right now. They're halftime. Hey, they're only down by 18. I consider that a win, considering Oregon's ranked first. And what I just want to say, God bless Oregon. Beating the Ohio State. Yeah, you're not the anymore. You're the fucking the losers is what you are, assholes.
That's
God bless Oregon.
Talk right there.
God bless them Ducks. God bless them Ducks. Hey, I don't care. I don't care. If Michigan could lose every single one of the regular season games, as long as they beat Ohio State, then it's a successful season. Take us to a bowl game, fucker. We beat Ohio State. That's all that matters. But I got a question for you, Dylan. Did you know that Santa is Asian?
I did not know this.
Yeah, Santa's Asian because the president of Michigan, his name is, I shit you not, Santa, and he's Asian.
Oh, shit, hey.
Yeah, no shit. I'm like, oh, Michigan State's on the fucking naughty list this year, aren't they? And I just want to say, what is it with Michigan State deciding to fucking throw hands at the end of football games against Michigan? Why? That's the second year in a row. You guys have been little fucking bastards when you guys have lost. Grow up, you dirty little cunts. Grow the fuck up. My God, you lost, okay? Get the fuck over it. You're trash as a football program. That's why you've always been second fiddle to Michigan. You always will be second fiddle to Michigan, all right? We're the first one to 1,000 wins. We're going to be the first one to 2,000 before you guys get to fucking 1,500, all right? You're trash. Always been trash. The only thing you're better at is in basketball, but nobody fucking cares about basketball. It's a horrible sport. That's stupid. All right? Grow the fuck up, you children. Jesus Christ. God damn, it's just stupid. It's just dumb. All right, that's out of the way. But yeah, I didn't know that Santa was Asian. That was news to me. News to me. I got another question. Oh, well, here's a question. Have you had McDonald's came out? I think 3 weeks ago?
With the new E. coli chicken nuggets? No, I haven't had them.
No, the E. coli was on the quarter pounders, and it was actually the onions that they put on the burgers. They figured out it was from the onions.
Onions.
Well, because I'm like, they say in E. coli, I'm like, well, if it's from the burger, that means they're not cooking it long enough. Because once the internal temperature gets to, I think, 165, 175 degrees, whatever's in it would be dead, right? So if you were getting E. coli from the actual burger on a quarter pounder, then the burger wasn't being cooked long enough. But no, it turns out it's from the onions. No, I think 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, they came out with the McChicken Big Mac.
Yeah, chicken. Oh my God, that shit's good.
Oh, you have had one? I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
I think it's pretty good for what it is. It just a lot of people are like, I wish it was like the McChicken.
Yeah, I wish it was the McChicken patty too.
It's a fucking big chicken nugget.
Yeah, it's what it is. I wish it was the McChicken patty too, because on the McChicken patty they put that peppering or that pepper on it.
Yeah, that spice on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be because it's just with the chicken patties on it. It's just a tad bland. You know,
it just tastes like mac sauce.
Yeah, because the chicken doesn't. It does. Honest, that's actually a good description. It just tastes like the Thousand Island dressing that mac sauce is, and because the chicken doesn't really taste like anything. Where if they put the pepper on it, like on a McChicken, I think that would be an out of the park home run if they were to do that.
Guarantee. Hey, McDonald's, listen up. They ain't listening, but who cares? Guaranteed, if they were to start selling like the chicken patties as like big chicken nuggets, dude, people would eat that shit up. Like, cause you know how Taco Bell absolutely flubbered the fucking Big Cheez-It. Fuck the Big Cheez-It. I want a big chicken nugget.
Wait, when did Taco Bell have the Big Cheez-It?
Like a few months ago. It just.
I don't remember that.
It's not good.
There's probably a reation why they don't really talk about it anymore.
I didn't have any of it, but I heard that it was just absolute shit.
But speaking of McDonald's, I have before we get around to it. But anyways, the reason I bring it up, if you had the chicken Big Mac, so I was at this McDonald's, right? I go because I stopped at a truck stop. I was going to get something to eat because I'm fat, right? McDonald's is delicious. I'm going in there, and you see people that have like a lazy eye or whatever, and so they look at you, and then one eye goes ooh the other way. It's like, hey, come back here, come back. I'm over here. I don't think I've ever seen somebody with two lazy eyes. Like they were so cross-eyed. I think they could have seen around a corner how cross-eyed they were. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous. I hate to make fun of them. It's like, how can you even walk straight? My God. I mean, it's like
can see around a corner. Damn.
Yeah, it's like, God damn, man. Holy shit. It was something else. I mean, they were so cross-eyed. Jesus would have been fucking impressed. It was unbelievable. But no, there's good news when it comes to McDonald's. Good news. What is something that McDonald's that had for a really long time, and then they got rid of during COVID?
I don't know. What now?
What is something that McDonald's had prior to COVID, but then got rid of during COVID?
The dollar menu? I don't know.
There's no such thing as a dollar menu anywhere.
Dude, I don't pay attention to the McDonald's menu. Oh, the McRib?
No, fuck the McRib. They've had the McRib since then. No. How about the chicken snack wraps?
I have not been to a McDonald's that's had the chicken snack wraps in Oh,
I can tell you in about 4.5 years. In about 4.5 years. Yeah.
Where are you getting your chicken snap rights from?
Well, we're not getting chicken snap, but
none of Michigan does.
They're coming back.
They're coming back?
They're coming back.
Hold on. This is news I got to share with Brianna.
McDonald's is finally bringing back the snack wraps. 4 fucking years too late. They should have never left in the first place. And there was no reason for that. Reason. Yes, we put reason on our season.
Guess what McDonald's is bringing back?
Oh, he's got to tell his girlfriend to
Are you kidding me?
I think she got the news.
You're fucking lying.
I'm not lying. That's what Colton says. And if Colton is lying, we'll go to his house and riot.
For real.
I know where you live, fucker.
I've moved recently.
Steal it.
Are you serious?
No. You serious? No.
You've never had
No. So
I see. Okay, hold on. I gotta drop this bombshell. All right, I gotta drop this bombshell. I've never had a snack wrap.
They're the best fucking thing ever, dude.
you.
Never had one.
Thank you for listening for episode 50 of the Functional Idiots podcast. Oh, that's all we have for this week. You have never had a snack wrap? I always
Nope.
knew you were below
Well,
average
okay,
on the intelligence
listen.
scale.
No, see, you motherfuckers don't know what's good. Actually, I don't know what's good because I heard the snack wraps are pretty good.
Snack wraps were fucking delicious. So the reason they got rid of the snack wrap is during COVID they simplified their menu, and I think COVID was a good thing for McDonald's in the sense that they were able to get rid of unpopular menu items, right? Like they had the all day breakfast, limited breakfast menu, and they got rid of that, which I understand. I get. I mean, like the amount of times I was like, you know what, I would, at like 5 o'clock, I was like, I could really go for a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin right now. No, once. That happened fucking once, right? They got rid of the bagels during COVID, which I never understood that because the fucking bagels have got to be like one of the most popular breakfast items. Hands down. I mean, first of all, it is the best breakfast item. That's fucking without a doubt. I don't give a motherfuck who you are. But they got rid of the snack wraps because the snack wraps, do you remember so you remember before they had the McCrispy or the chicken sandwich, they had the buttermilk chicken sandwich.
Oh my god, the buttermilk crispy chicken sandwich. I fucking miss that, dude. I love that sandwich.
Well, they also
I
remember
would
they had
kill for that fucking sandwich again. You understand me? You know how? Oh my god. Ugh. I hate the fucking chicken. Listen. Look what they massacred my boy. All right.
I think
the chicken sandwich.
I think the current
don't
one's
you
better
dare
than
say
the
it.
better.
Don't
I
you
think
fucking
it's
say
better.
it.
My problem with the buttermilk one is that it was kind of dry.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Okay.
I'll give you that one. But it's so much better. I don't know.
You're right. The new one is so much better.
No. Fuck no.
Okay, but anyway.
I'll die on this hill, motherfucker.
So do you remember they also had the buttermilk crispy tenders, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So
Had
those
a few times.
yeah, those were the tenders that they would put in the snack wraps. Well, now they're going to have
You've already sold me. You've already sold me.
That was before the snack wraps.
Oh.
Or the old iteration. Now they're going to have the McCrispy style chicken tenders in the current snack wraps because they're going to be called the McCrispy snack wrap.
Yes.
And I never understood why. Okay. I can understand why they got rid of it because they wanted to simplify their menu. Like I'm trying to simplify my English with smaller words.
Okay.
Simplify their menu during COVID because they just wanted to.
In 2016, they also discontinued the snack wrap due to low sales and the time that it took to make. And then they removed the snack wrap.
Snack wrap.
Fucking A.
Snack
God
wet
damn it.
ass pussy.
Apparently we 5 years old.
That's not a snack I want. I don't want a fucking snack wrap. All right. If Cardi B's back there making my shit, I'm out of here. All right. Nope, not happening. I get fucking acrylic nail in my quarter pounder. No, I'm good.
Then they removed the snack wrap nationwide.
Yeah, we still had
As
it in
what you said, the simplification during the COVID.
Yeah, we lost it in Michigan during COVID. But I understand why they got rid of it initially because they wanted to simplify the menu during that because they're probably having issues getting stuff too at a certain time. So they're just like, well, we're pretty sure we can get burgers because we're kind of known for that, right? So we'll keep all their burger items and a few other, chicken nuggets, that's just pink goo anyways. So no problem there. But take 4 years, I don't understand that because it's not like it's a super, like everything that's in there, they already have except the actual chicken. They already have the tortillas for the sausage burritos, right? You already have the shredded lettuce for the Big Macs and the McChicken sandwiches. And you already have the ranch because, well, you sell ranch with your fucking chicken nuggets. So I don't understand why it took them so long to bring them back. And the snack wraps were something nice because it's like, if you just wanted a snack, you're like, I don't want a quarter pounder, right? Because say it's like, it's like 3:00. You just need something to get you, just get a fucking snack wrap or, whatever. And get you through till dinner. Those were nice. Plus they're easy to eat it and drive at the same time. But, which is always a plus. It's a little hard to eat a quarter pounder and drive at the same time,
Yeah, it's a little hard to eat a fucking Big Mac.
Especially the chicken Big Mac, because it's like an inch taller, and the minute you take a bite, it like fucking falls apart. It's like, God damn it.
Well, because they put more Mac sauce on it now, like both the regular Big Mac and the chicken Mac.
Yeah.
And, so it's just like as soon as you take one bite, it's all falling out the ass.
Yeah, you're
like,
fucking you're wearing half, and it's like, shit, But yeah, I never quite understood why it took them so long to bring it back. But I'm just glad to bring it back. They're supposed to be back nationwide by sometime during 2025, is when they should start coming back.
I'm gonna guess around spring.
Probably. They've been testing them they were testing them at crispy chicken strips in North Carolina around Hickory, which is northwest of the Charlotte area. McDonald's is not the first company to either come out with the snack wraps recently or bring back snack wraps. Burger King dropped their own line of chicken wraps. Wendy's did too. And Hardee's also has a line of snack wraps, which I just had yesterday. And the Hardy ones are okay. The problem is the tortilla is not big enough. So it's like if you think of like a normal snack wrap, you can like wrap the entire shell around the chicken, right? The chicken tender. While the Hardee's one, it's like they used a 6-inch shell when they should, or I'm sorry, they used a 4-inch shell when they should have used a 6-inch shell because you're kind of just looping the sides like a fucking hot dog around the chicken tender because the tortilla won't fit it around, right? So, but yeah, I am totally excited for McDonald's to bring back the fucking snack wraps. It's been way too fucking long. Way too goddamn long.
Almost 10 years since they last got rid of them.
10 years?
Not nationwide.
I'd say we had them in Michigan. We had them in Michigan through COVID. And then I never understood why it took them so long to bring back the bagels too. And why it took so long for them to come up to us in Michigan. Like, they had it down in Chicago a fucking year before we had it up by us in Grand Rapids. A year! It was some bullshit.
So some companies will, such as McDonald's. McDonald's did this when my dad was stationed in California when he was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this new thing called a sausage, egg and cheese McGriddle. And he's like, oh, I wonder what this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He eats it. He's like, damn, this is fucking delicious. He gets back to Michigan, goes to a McDonald's. He's like, yeah, can I get a sausage McGriddle? And they're like, what's that? He's like, huh? You motherfuckers don't have the sausage McGriddle?
Well, when he was out there,
they were testing it in California.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because like I said, they're testing it down. But what I'm saying was when they had him down in Chicago a year before, they had him on billboards. Like when McDonald's is testing stuff, they don't usually put him on billboards because they only test them at a half dozen stores, right? So they won't put him up. They won't put it up on. No, they had the shit up on billboards for a fucking year before we had him up in Grand Rapids, and I don't know why it took so long. And because we found out because Riker, my brother, he went to McDonald's once and he's like, he came back. He's like, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what? He's like, they got him back. I'm like, no. So I immediately got in my truck and hauled ass up to the McDonald's and got myself a fucking bagel sandwich. I'm like, oh, yes, life is good now. It's been 4 years. Or no, it's probably about 2.5 years from when they stopped till they brought him back. I was like, it's been too fucking long. Dude, hands down, that is the best breakfast sandwich out of any fast food restaurant is the fucking bagel, especially bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. Spicy.
I think their English McMuffin is pretty good.
Oh yeah, their sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin's delicious, but no, bagel, fucking hands
Dude,
down, that takes the cake. With
taking the
fucking
McMuffin,
with Ronald
put
McDonald's
hash
cum on
browns.
it, yes,
Yeah, breakfast sauce.
yeah, that is delicious. Of course, well, and nothing beats McDonald's hash browns. When it comes to frying potatoes, McDonald's has got it down pat. Doesn't matter if it's in hash brown form or in French fry form, they're number one on both lists. And I'll fight anyone for that.
The more important question is, have you tried the Krabby Patty meal?
No, because I don't really like Wendy's.
What am I saying? It's fucking terrible.
All it is just a regular Wendy's burger with some fucking sauce on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I think that it's not fucking terrible. I was joking. It's not bad. You know how awkward it was though, because me and Brianna went to Wendy's and we're like, I get up to the fucking window. Yeah, can I get a Krabby Patty meal? You will never take yourself seriously if you go into a fucking fast food window and you're like, yeah, can I get the Krabby Patty meal?
Dude, that is, oh my god, yeah, that would be hard. You gotta imagine the first person that probably, when they first started doing that stuff, could not, I wouldn't have been able to hold myself together. That is can I get a Krabby Patty?
That shit
Oh
was
my god,
pretty funny. The Frosty that they like the mango pineapple Frosty they had, that wasn't too bad. It really tastes like fake flavoring, so which obviously isn't surprising because it is a fast food place, but
yeah, no, when you should when you went to go to Wendy's and you order that, you should have been like this.
Salad. I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style. Extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze. Light axle grease, make it cry. Burn it and let it swim.
We serve food here, sir.
We serve food here, sir.
oh, a salad! How daring!
No, yeah, let me guess, a small salad. Monk and Squidward throwing shade for no reason. No, it was the other guy. He's like, oh, I'll take a Krabby Patty. Oh, daring today, are we? Dude, old SpongeBob was so unchill.
Dude, didn't give a fuck.
Dude, had no chill.
No. It was funny because there's so many videos of people, like, there's this dude, he goes up to the window, and they're like, hi, welcome to Wendy's, what can I get you? And he's like, you know what I'm here for. And he starts playing, I'm a goofy goober. Rock.
So yeah, that's the best news since hearing that I wasn't pregnant yesterday. Is that McDonald's is bringing back the snack wraps. Oh my god, I got this story. I thought about putting this as my folksal idiot, but I couldn't do it to my poor grandmother. So a couple weeks ago, my grandfather was on his way over to my aunt's house. And some lady cut him off, and he ended up rolling his their Ford Explorer through the fucking, as we call it, the comedian, right? Through the comedian. He wasn't on the interstate. He was on US 31, where it slows down, or it's not interstate. So he was only doing like 45 when it happened. He was fine. The car is totaled and shit. And I said to my grandfather, I was like, Grandpa, when we say roll over, we meant the dog, not you, okay? You know, but. So they were looking for a new car. They found one now since then, and but I took them because they didn't have a vehicle at that time or whatever. So I drove out there a couple Saturdays ago, and took them to a dealership. We were looking at another Ford Explorer. Well, you know, and after that, I spent the rest of the day with them and stuff like that, and because I don't see them very often, and go back to their house and sitting there watching the Red Wings game, and their dog, they have a standard poodle, and my grandmother saying that he's had a really bad ear infection lately, and so they went up to the vet and they gave her some drops, and he put the drops in his ear, and it even after like a week or something, it was still infected. So they gave her like a big bottle of like some ear wash stuff to like really, you know, rinse the stuff out in his ear. And he's had that for like, they've had that for like a week. So he's been giving it to her for like a week. And when they had it before, when they gave her the first smaller bottle, like they literally had to hold the dog down on the ground to squirt the shit in his ear because he didn't like them touching his ear because it hurt that bad, right? And my grandma was like, yes, with this, but he's been doing a lot better. So he must be doing a lot better and stuff. And she's been doing both ears, even though only one ear was infected, just do both, be safe, right? So and it has like, one of those tops where like, it's not like, you turn it one way and it unlocks. You kind of like unscrew the top of it. Kind of think of like one of those Gatorade sport bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of those style things. So like you don't take the top completely off, but it just kind of opens up a little bit. And so she does the one ear that wasn't infected, and she squirts and he like shakes his ears and stuff or whatever. And she goes to the other ear and she squirts it in there and he didn't really do anything. And so we're watching there and my grandfather's like, are you even squirting anything out of it? And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, here. So she takes it out and, goes to squirt it in her hands. Because also to the instructions say like 6 drops in his ear. And she's like, how the hell do you know how many drops you're putting in his ear when you're fucking shoving the bitch right down in his ear, right? How do you know how much you're putting in there? And so she squirts on her hand and nothing comes out. And so she looks at it and is it not open all the way or something like that? The top or whatever. My grandfather's like, did you even take off the safety seal? And so she unscrews of it. The fucking safety seal was still on the bottle. I fucking died. Oh my God. I'm like, are you serious? And my grandfather's like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? That dog's been fucking suffering for a week and you didn't take the safety seal off the top of the bottle. Like, what are you doing? Well, how would I know it was on there? Why wouldn't it be on there? I was like, oh my God, are you fucking real? These two do not need to be driving. They can't even operate fucking ear wash. Oh my God. I was done. I was like, Jesus, help me. Lord, give me the strength. And so, yeah, once she figured out, she took the safety seal off. Yeah, then she gave it to squirted her hand, and now it's like fucking Niagara Falls coming out of that bitch. Like, oh, now it's doing something. All right. We're getting somewhere. It's like, my God. Like I said, I wanted to make it as my functional idiot, but I couldn't do that to my poor grandmother. But Jesus H, man. Did you take the safety seal off of it? Why would there be a safety seal on it? Why wouldn't there? How else are you going to fucking protect it from tampering? Oh my God. Yeah, so, gotta love my fucking grandparents. Gotta love them. Speaking of loving, you gotta love what the Lions do after they lost to Tampa Bay. It's like losing to Tampa Bay was a wake-up call. And then whenever a team loses to the Lions, they proceeded to get the shit kicked out of them again the week after. They got the Honolulu hangover going on. So after beating the Vikings, they went and shit all over. Well, they didn't really shit all over the Titans. I mean, yeah, they smoked them. It was a blowout. But if you look at it, the Titans had way more yardage. It was just the Titans forgot what fucking special teams were on punt returns. And so they gave up like, who was the guy that usually does punt returns for the Lions?
Khalif Raymond.
Yeah, I think he was, 10 yards short of the NFL record for the most yardage and punt returns in one game?
Yep.
It was, I mean, he had like 100 and, I think he had almost 200 yards, didn't he?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he got a 70-yard one and a 90-yard one. So that's.
I know one he took all the way to the house.
60 there?
Yeah, I know one he took all the way to the house. Yeah. One. Yeah. I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, great time to be a Lions fan right now. And it's like, because they're in even their first game this year, you could tell that it's like they looked the same as they did during the second half against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. In the first game against the Rams this year in week 1. And then in week 2, they somehow managed to do worse because then they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was like losing to Tampa Bay was like the reset they needed because since then they've been playing pretty lights out football. Even with not having Aiden Hutchinson for the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I do have to say that the secondary stepped up quite a bit. I mean,
that helped. That's helped. Yeah, because that was one thing that was torching them last year is the secondaries. They were getting fucking torched.
Even in the beginning of this year, it was like, oh, man, you're getting penalties where you shouldn't be getting penalties.
Yeah.
And yes, you can say that some penalties were bullshit, whatever. But the fact is they were still getting penalties. But, yeah, after week 2, the loss against the fucking Buccaneers. Yeah, secondary really stepped up their game.
Yeah,
that
and
was good to see.
And I just lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Alex
And even without having Aiden Hutchinson, it's like the whole defense now like stepped it up too, because they're like, oh shit, now we don't have one of the best outside rushers in the league. We all need to chip in a little bit more now to cover for that missing that spot, and so that's it. They've definitely done. I mean, it's helped that what Hutchinson got hurt against the Cowboys, but he played like what I think he still played about half the game, didn't he?
Yeah,
and by that time the Lions were already beating the shit out of the Cowboys, so that game was a loss. But especially during the Vikings, because that was one of the only other two undefeated teams in the league at that point. Against the Titans doesn't really matter because the Titans are what we would like to call straight when it comes to playing football this year. But this week, who do they play this week?
The Green Bay Packers.
They play the Packers. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Yep. No, the Packers.
Oh, the Packers. I'm sorry.
The Packers.
The cheeseheads.
Cheese curds.
That's going to be tough because if Jordan Love decides to play like he did last year on Thanksgiving, that's going to be a rough game for Detroit. Is that in Lambeau or in Detroit?
Lambeau.
It's in Lambeau, so that's going to be a really tough game for Detroit.
But we're also at a decent time of the year. Lambeau Field is, not a dome.
Yeah. And Dylan's being interrupted once again, even though he's told people, hey, I am doing a thing with my jackass friend here.
Yeah. Hello?
You good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I would say... Well, no, yeah, it's going to be tough because if Jordan Love decides to play like how he's being paid, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough to beat. And another thing, what the fuck's going on with fucking Jameson Williams? I mean, he gets popped for using PEDs, right? He gets a 2-game suspension.
It wasn't a PED. He was taking a prescription for something, and it popped up. And that's why... He only got suspended for 2 games, I think. But
yeah, I saw it was only 2 games because usually it's a 6-game suspension.
It's usually 4 to 6 games. But and then wait till he had to clear this shit up. Oh, did you see it? Funny costume that he wore. But so he got pulled over, or his brother got pulled over. His brother had a concealed carry, right?
Yeah, I heard this. So
his gun was registered, right?
Well, yeah, his brother got
underneath the seat.
Yeah.
And the police thought it was Jameson. It was Williams. And it wasn't. It was his brother's other gun. So, yeah, it's been cleared up, I guess, that it was not his gun. It was, so. Okay,
because it came up because his brother got pulled over for speeding. And like you said, his brother had a concealed carry license or a concealed pistol license. And so he told the cop, hey, there's a gun in the car, but I have a CPL. And then he said that there was actually 2 guns in the car. They knew there was 2 guns in the car, but he said one was his and one was Jameson's. And then I guess Jameson actually did have cuffs put on him, but then he got let go and wasn't officially arrested, booked and stuff. And then the Detroit Police Department then investigated why he was arrested, but then never taken in the paddy wagon to the jailhouse rock. And because I thought, it was also one of the other weapon was his, which obviously you can't have a weapon stashed in a vehicle without having a CPL unless it's in a case unloaded and there's not ammunition next to it and it's in the back seat, right? At least in the state of Michigan, that's how the law is. Yeah. So, but I haven't heard anything since then that it came up that the other gun was also his brother's gun. Which, if that's the case, that makes sense why he wasn't officially arrested. And, booked on charges.
I don't know if that was,
Well, we'll find out. But let's find out other things in the meantime. Like, what's your banger of the week here, Dylan?
My banger of the week, I can't believe we haven't done this one. Banger, get the fuck out of here. Banger of the week, sorry, pop-ups. Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
You're right. That is surprising that we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
That is surprising. That is a really good song though.
Good,
apparently mine is bangers, plural of the week, because I couldn't decide on one, because there are 3 songs that I'm really digging right now. One of them is one of them I did in honor of going to Michigan, the Michigan game, and that was Mr. Brightside by the Killers, because they always sing that.
That's a good song.
They always play that song there.
Hang on.
The other song I have, and it's from Falling in Reverse's new album. It's called Bad Guy. That is a pretty good song. It's definitely more, because I would say Falling in Reverse is definitely heavier rock than, say, Disturbed.
Yeah.
I would go out and say that. But it's definitely more scaled back than the other songs, right? It's not super hard rocky or heavy metal, per se. I mean, it helps that the song's only like 2.5 minutes long. But it is still, it's so if you kind of want to like dip your toes into Falling in Reverse, but not go full on like in the heavy metal stuff or the heavy rock, hard rock stuff, that's a pretty good song to like just kind of like dip your toe in. Yeah, because it still has all the ingredients, I guess you could say, to a normal Falling in Reverse song, but without the heavy metal part, super heavy metal part. The other song I have is another song that just came out recently. And I actually first heard this on YouTube Music. Just, it just came up, based on a playlist I had going, and it just came up. And I heard this and I saw who it was by and then who it was featured or who was featured in it. I'm like, there's no way this song's not going to be a fucking single on the radio, right? The song is Angel Song by Nothing More featuring David Draymond, which, if you know your rock bands, is the lead singer of Disturbed. And I was like, there's no way this song isn't not gonna be a single on the radio. You have David Draymond, probably one of the most well-known current rock lead singers right now. This is totally, and then like 2 weeks later, I heard it on the local radio station. I'm like, yeah, I thought so. I knew it. I knew there was no way it was not gonna be a fucking single. So, but yeah, that has a really good guitar beat to it. Oh, fucking master. Have you heard that song, Dylan, or no?
I have not.
Fantastic. Beautiful song. Beautiful. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, let's move on to Dylan's old facts of the week. We can't do 50 facts of the 50 states no more because, well, we wrapped that up 2 episodes ago technically, but we wrapped that up last time. So we need to come up with something different.
The oldest living tree is called, I don't know how to fucking say that. It's 4,765 years old. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, how old?
4,765 years old. That's an old goddamn tree.
That's a big ass tree.
If I ever seen it.
My question, because I was always taught as a kid that you could tell how old a tree was by how many rings are on it, right? In it?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know how old that tree is?
Carbon dating, you fucking idiot. You can take a piece of the tree and carbon date it.
Why are we carbon dating trees?
Hey, this tree's been here for a long time. How long? I don't know.
This tree's been here since, yesterday. Let's carbon date it. Let's see how old it is. 5 days.
Like
I knew it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's thin as fuck, as tall as a small child. It's like, hey, yeah, how old is this tree? Since yesterday, you fucking idiot.
Dude, Jimmy just fucking planted it yesterday. What do you mean, how old is it? My God, you saw him do it. You watched him do it. What do you mean? That shows you right there, there's a lot of fucking waste that we're sitting around. It's like, oh, well, we've done everything for our research, but we still have $3 million left in this government grant. We've already corrupted half of it or embezzled half of it. Let's go carbon date some fucking trees. That's a good idea.
And then a crocodile cannot stick its tongue out.
Oh, I've heard that one before, yeah.
I did not know that.
So you can go to a crocodile while he's...
go up to a fucking swamp puppy and be like...
Have you seen the video where like some dude he threw like a chicken, like a dead chicken into like or whatever the fuck, and into like a big pool of crocodiles or whatever.
Yeah, they all tore it up.
Yeah, they tore it up. Well, then one starts coming towards him or whatever, and so he fucking hits it with the shovel, and then someone put over top of it Tom from Tom and Jerry fucking screaming. Because he like hit him in the head with the shovel, and the alligator's mouth opened up, and it's just like, ah! It was so funny. Oh my god. So we've been playing the shit out of, at least as of late, a game that came out, 8 days as of we're recording this? 8 days ago. Full release, at least. Not early release. And that is the newest iteration of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And I've played through the whole campaign. Dylan's played through most of the campaign. We've done some multiplayer. We've done some zombies. I wouldn't say zombies. I've played enough of it to have a full grasp of an opinion or a full opinion on it. I've only done one round of zombies. I'd say I've played enough of the multiplayer. I think I've played on most of the maps in multiplayer, and most, if not all, the game modes besides free for all, because you can't do free for all in a squad.
Yeah, right.
But I think I can have a good opinion on multiplayer, and obviously I've played through the whole campaign, so I feel like I can have a valid opinion on that. Do I think this is a top 5 Call of Duty game? No, it's not. It's not. And I'm not even sorry, because it's not. Okay? If we go by just the game overall, I'd say the best game from campaign to multiplayer to either Spec Ops or zombies, depending on which developer did it, Treyarch or Infinity Ward. I'd say the best game is the OG Modern Warfare 2. From the multiplayer to the campaign to Spec Ops. That is the best Call of Duty game, right? That's up on the pedestal as first. And then there, you could go from there, but I don't think this is a top 5 Call of Duty game. Top 10, if we say the campaign, I say no. If we say including everything, at least it moves it into the top 10, because, excuse me, having the Omni movement, I really, really like the Omni movement in the new Call of Duty game. The Treyarch did a really good job making that.
Yes, I'm going to have to say, because there's only been one other game with Omni, at least that I've played, that has Omni movement, and that's Helldivers. It's really, really good. Like, especially for a Call of Duty game, it's very, very smooth.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if Treyarch developed the Omni movement or if Activision developed the Omni movement. I would expect every Call of Duty game from here on out will have Omni movement. But they've done a really good job making it, right? And I don't know how long it took them to make it and stuff like that, but it helps. The best way I've heard it described is that it helps balance out the imbalance between controller players and mouse and keyboard players, right? Because obviously controller players, they have aim assist, because it's a lot harder to aim with 2 joysticks compared to a mouse. You can just point and click, point and click, point and click, point and click, right? And so you have computer players that complain that controller players have aim assist, and you can have controller players or console players complaining that computer players can basically exploit the game because they can do stuff that controller players can't do.
Yeah.
Because they have mouse and keyboard. It helps bridge that. It helps bring that closer, because now controller players, as they're playing, they're almost playing like they have mouse because of how your character, or whatever you want to call it, reacts and how it runs and jumps and can move and stuff like that. And so it helps to where the people who are sweaty motherfuckers who don't have lives and live in their mom's basements and play it for like 12 hours a day, and then you have your casuals like me and you, who maybe will play it a few times a week, and we only play it for a few hours. If we do play it at a time, we know because we have, lives and jobs and stuff.
Exactly.
And so being casual players, when you go play against the people who are fucking tryhards, it's not fun. You just get shit on the whole time, and it's not fun. This helps bring that together a little bit. There's not such a wide disparity between your tryhards and your casual players. Now, this game's only been out for a little over a week, so I'm sure eventually the tryhards will find exploits in the Omni movement. So it'll be on Treyarch to get rid of those exploits in the Omni movement that people are using, but I don't think there can be I can't think of an exploit that you could have right now because of how your character moves. It kind of negates the thing of people who turn their sensitivity way up. So it's like you so much as like move your mouse half a millimeter and you fucking do a 360, right? It kind of helps. It kind of helps get rid of that.
I think you also brought up a great point. As their matchmaking stuff is a lot. It seems a lot better than what it was.
Yes.
Warfare.
I know that was one thing that Treyarch brought up is that I think there still is skill-based matchmaking, but it's very. They either really did it. They either really worked on it, or they didn't rely so much the matchmaking on the skill-based part of it. Because there hasn't been a game. We probably played for multiplayer for about 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
I think we played every game mode, or just about. Like I said, we played probably just about, if not all the maps. And there wasn't a game where it's like one dude was just shitting all over everybody.
Yeah, it was either the team really fucking sucked. So, and including us, that's just not, a dig at random players.
Yeah.
Or the other team happened to be decently good. And it flip-flopped. Like, there was a decent back and forth between each of them.
Right, but none of the games were blowouts either. I mean, yeah, you would have games where we'd run up the score, but that was just because the other team wasn't playing the objective, or vice versa. Our team wasn't playing, kill confirmed. The only way you get points is by collecting dog tags. Well, if you don't collect dog tags, you're not going to win the game, right? So if you don't play the objective, you're not going to win the game mode. But there, like I said, there wasn't anybody in there who was getting 50 kills or 60 kills or something like that and just shitting on everyone. And maybe that's because everybody's still new to the game, but usually even by now, after a week, you'll still get some of those matches in other Call of Duty games.
Let's take an example. Like, when we played MW3, it was, if we did really well one game, we'd get thrown into a game with a bunch of sweaty motherfuckers and get our shit wrecked.
Yeah, it was like, you either were playing with noobs or you're playing with fucking pro COD players. There was no in between. And I'd like to think we fall in the in between, right? We're not bad, but we're not great. I would like to think I'm slightly above average. Maybe average, maybe a little bit above average, of a COD player. Because as long as I have a positive KD ratio at the end of every game, I'm happy, right? I've killed more than I've died. Obviously, depending on the game mode, that really plays a factor. Obviously, for you, it doesn't matter because you usually have negative KD rate. But that's where I like to go for. If I at least have a positive KD ratio, I can't necessarily get mad at the matchmaking, per se, right? Because that means, unless I'm the only one who has a positive KD ratio and the other guy on the other team has fucking 80 kills and it was only search and destroy. They did. I think Treyarch did a fantastic job with the skill-based matchmaking. And I've never, because I know other games have done skill-based matchmaking, and it's like, there's only been a few games that have been able to figure it out. And I don't understand why it's so hard to figure it out. Like, you just have an algorithm that just takes, you can, other games will give you, like, say World of Tanks, for instance. They give you a World of Tank rating, right? What's your World of Tanks rating? And however, there's an algorithm or whatever that, considering how good you do, are you at least, doing X amount of damage? You're doing more damage than you receive. Are you getting kills? Are you doing the capturing the bases? Whatever you're doing, are you blocking shots? That's how it determines into your World of Tanks rating. And I know Call of Duty can do the same thing. How fast are you on your reaction times? How fast are you? How good are you with your shots? Are you accurate? Are you doing the objectives? Right. What are you doing? Like, you could factor that into the rating, and then you could just match it with other people that have a similar rating. And then obviously the better you do, the better your rating gets, so you move up the ladder of skill. Right? Now, yes, is it fun to have the game every once in a while where you shit on everybody? Yes, that's fun, right? It's not fun when you're on the other side, but
right.
But I mean, there was a couple games where I was first on our team, but it's not like I was first by a mile and a half. I'd be first by like a couple kills or a couple 100 points, depending on what game mode it was. But it was still evenly matched. I know there was a team deathmatch. We won 100-97. We won by 3 points, right? It came down to the wire. Literally came down to the wire, right? And so I think Treyarch's done a really good job balancing that. They've also done a good job with balancing weapons, because there's not a lot of weapons in the game, right? There's only I think there's 6 assault rifles. There's probably just as many submachine guns. There's 3 light machine guns. There's 3 different sniper rifles. There's only 2 different shotguns, and there's only 3 different style marksman rifles. That I like. It's a lot. I think that's the problem that past Call of Duty games have been getting into, is that they've been having too many weapons, and so it's a lot harder to balance 50 weapons amongst themselves compared to the 25 or the 20 that are in Black Ops 6. And you don't need, you don't need 5 different styles of shotguns. You don't need 5 different styles or 6 different styles of sniper rifles.
Yeah.
Having 6 different styles of assault rifles is perfect. You can have one that has a lot of damage but not very high fire rate, and vice versa. One that doesn't have a lot of kick but doesn't do a lot of damage either. Or you can have one that has a lot of kick but the bullets hit really hard. And same thing with submachine guns. And so they've done a good job balancing the weapons in that aspect. I've been playing basically the XM4 the whole time, because that's just the weapon I started with, that you start with in the assault rifle category.
Yeah.
And I really struggle when it comes to using iron sights on guns. I struggle to all hell. So it's hard for me to get past get to level 4 on guns when I have to use iron sights. It's very difficult for me to do that. And so once I find a gun I can be fairly competitive with, I just stick with that gun more times than not. So I think they did really good with the multiplayer. I think the maps are pretty good. They're not,
oh my God, Nuketown dropped yesterday.
Yeah, they came out with Nuketown yesterday. So I think the maps are pretty good. I like that some of them are actually from the campaign. I've missed that from past COD games, that there wasn't maps that would be from the campaign, and they would alter them slightly, right?
Yeah.
But they would be from locations that you played in the campaign. There's one that's the safe house from the campaign, and it's altered a little bit, but it's the same idea, right? Same general layout. I know there's one from when you go into Avalon. I think it's actually called Avalon, right? There's one that's from Iraq, one of the campaign missions, and so that's nice. I think the multiplayer is definitely, right off the bat, is probably in the top 5 for multiplayers, just because they've done really well on balancing everything out, because they didn't overwhelm themselves with the amount of shit they need to balance.
Right. I think because they want everybody to, because they had to figure out Omni movement and stuff like that. So, and they got that down pat. And then having, like you said, a small amount of weapons just to make sure that it's
Just
I was making sure you guys can hear.
I can hear
Brianna back there.
Oh, I can hear her.
I can talk to it.
I can hear her, but I don't think
she's playing Phasmophobia. So.
Oh.
But yeah, taking these small group of weapons that they do have and just having those be decent enough to where people can choose what they want to play, I think that's a good idea. Also, one thing that I noticed is that your secondary, like my pistol, if you upgrade it for one, like you put attachments, it does that for every other class.
Oh, does it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I did that, and I was like, oh shit, it has the things that I want on here. I'm like, fucking sweet. I don't have to go through every single gun and do, if I have it that way, set it up that way. So that was pretty nice.
I finally unlocked the pistol that's full auto.
Oh, did you?
I think it's called the Golachev or something like that, or Gololov or something. I don't know.
But I would also like to. Now, this is just a personal thing of mine. MW3, I hate the way that it was set up campaign-wise. I'm not trying to play Warzone while I'm trying to do missions by myself, all right?
Yes.
That is one thing I don't like. Granted, Black Ops 6, spoiler alert, did something similar to it.
Oh,
except they did it better.
We
think
should have
they
put that
did
at the beginning. There are going to be spoilers. So if you don't want to listen, jump ahead 20, 30 minutes.
They did a very, very, I think, when I first came up to it, I literally stopped playing the game, and I'm like, I was like, I don't want to do this mission. I don't like this type of mission. But but I was like, I don't want to do this type of mission. I don't know what it is. I think it's because MW3 just left a very, very fucking bad taste in my mouth because of how they set it up. So I was like, fuck me. However, I played it. Can definitely say I did not mind it. I was like, okay, if they have it like this from now on, I'm okay with that. They're not forcing you to, like, they give you a set of prerequisite guns. Like, these are the guns you can have. Guess what? You can find guns out there, or you can just keep the ones you have. You don't have to fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
And they just want, like, the main objectives done. Like, everything else is optional. You don't have to do this. You don't have to. My completionist ass did everything.
Oh, I did too.
Oh, dude, I literally did everything. I had one scout to talk to, and I'm like, okay, it's going to piss me off if I can't find this fucking scout to talk to him. He was at the bottom of the map, and I'm like, guess what? Here I go. Didn't even need to talk to him. Everybody was already dead. I'm like, ah, sweet. So, but yeah, they did a... I think overall, I really enjoyed the campaign. I haven't, like I said, I haven't finished it yet. I've heard that the ending kind of sucks, but that has yet to be seen by me. But I really enjoyed this campaign. Like, there's very few Call of Duties where I've actually sat down and I enjoyed it. Weirdly enough, World War II, I played the shit out of that game. I played that campaign 3 or 4 times. For no reason. I just really enjoyed that campaign. I don't know why.
I think I've said, I don't think, if you take just the campaign, I went through the list of my favorite campaigns. Me and Dylan were talking earlier, right? So, number 1, Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare 2. That is the best campaign that Call of Duty has ever made, and I will fight anyone on that shit, right?
Hey, I'm going to make a list of my top 10.
Right. So this is a impromptu stupiders list. I'd say number 2 is the original Modern Warfare. Because that put Modern Warfare on its current path, if that makes sense. Of how that kind of the formula Modern Warfare. It put the formula, or it made what Call of Duty was known for, right? Number 3, I'd put Black Ops. The OG Black Ops. Well, there's only one form of Black Ops, or of that name. That is, I mean, if you go back now and play it, you could definitely tell that it was made in 2010 or whenever Black Ops came out. And like one thing that's bothered me when I go back and play older games is that, like, now when you have cutscenes, they actually record, they have the cameras and the voice recording around the actors while they're talking and stuff. And so it kind of more fits the environment, especially when they're in battle. And maybe they just done better job doing it too when they're in battle. But like in the older games, like they're talking and they'd be in a cave, and it's like you can totally tell they did this in a fucking sound booth, right, in a recording studio, because it doesn't fit at all the environment. And now I'm sure they just done a better job with audio to make it better. But even still, if you go by story and how it is, Black Ops, campaign-wise, I think is a top 3 campaign. Number 4 is the original Modern Warfare 3. I know when it first came out, people shit on it and stuff because you just came back with Modern Warfare 2, which was nuts to butts action. Like, that's going to be hard to top. In fact, it's never been topped. It never will be topped, right? It's hard to beat. You're never going to beat No Russian. You're not going to beat it. Not going to happen, right? Because Call of Duty doesn't have the balls to do anything worse or better or whatever you want to call it than No Russian. Not going to happen.
That's another thing. Black Ops 6 jumped up back to their mature audience with their advertisement stuff. Like the weird fucking advertisement of, yeah, that's right, kids, call me daddy. It's like, huh? Because their actual dad was playing Black Ops 6, and I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this. Fucking weird, but
Yeah, I don't. It'd be interesting because this is the first. I mean, arguably, this is the first game that's been truly under Microsoft's control because Microsoft's owned Activision for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And so there's been probably more meddling from Microsoft in this, maybe. I'd say the next game will really show because that'll be the first true Call of Duty game that's basically been entirely developed under Microsoft.
I think, now, I know a lot of times it's like, oh, Microsoft owns this. Now, Microsoft, there's a few games that they shouldn't have done because it was just cash grabs. I'm looking at you, Halo series. But I think there's a lot of hope when it comes to at least Microsoft because they may want to, like, I guess go back to taking those risks because Microsoft has taken risks before. Like, I mean, there's a lot of shit out here like, oh, shit, you know, why the fuck did they have that in the game? That was kind of cool or whatever. Like, I mean, even the Modern Warfare 3 No Russian was very, very dumbed down.
It was a slap in the face.
Oh, by the way,
and when you see them
play No Russian in Modern Warfare 2 is you're supposed to, because you get confused about, like, I got confused as to why you get shot at the end. Because, I mean, you're killing civilians, right? But
what do you mean you get confused? It's because Makarov... What do you mean you're confused? It makes sense. Makarov knew you were a CIA agent, right?
Yeah, so...
The reason he kills you is because then... This is where kind of bad writing comes into effect. Then they see an American operative laying dead with body armor and guns. And so then the Russians... or the country of Russia thinks the Americans were the ones behind the terrorist attacks.
But you're not supposed to shoot the civilians. You're supposed to actually shoot the screens above. And that tips like Makarov off that you're actually a CIA agent.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As to why he shoots you at the end. Because you didn't kill anybody. And it was a test to see if you would actually, do that shit.
Oh, I always thought because he knew you were a CIA agent, but like when you say the Modern Warfare 3 No Russian version, you mean in the 2020? You mean the 2023 game?
Yes,
it was. Yeah. It was a slap in the face. First of all, because the writing in Modern Warfare 3, the second one, the bad one, was terrible. The writing was horrible. Like the whole thing of, are you a terrorist? No. Well, you look like one. What the fuck is that? What is that? That's some shit you hear from Caillou, not from a fucking AAA title game. Come on. That's some lazy ass writing you hear from
Call of
fucking
Duty at
Teenage
Caillou's
Mutant Ninja
house.
Turtle. Yeah, exactly. It's like that is such bad writing. It's just the one thing, and also another thing that Modern Warfare 3 was missing is like there was so many times playing, like especially during the Warzone style campaign missions. There's not just that, but there were so many times where like you're doing stuff and there's no music. Like, I get this is supposed to be a war game, but it's for my entertainment, and I'm not very immersed in the fucking moment. Like at the end of Modern Warfare 3, the 2023 game, when Soap dies, it just comes out of nowhere. There's like no build up to it in the music, no nothing, and all of a sudden you turn around and fucking Soap. It's like, well, Christ, what the fuck was that? I feel like I just got... Talk about getting blue-balled, right? That's not right.
Speaking
it sucked.
Of music and how important music is, I don't know if you realize this, Colton, but when you play the... Spoiler alert, by the way. I'm still going to say that. In Black Ops 6, when you're doing the zombie mission, when you're facing the Mimic in there, they're playing one of the original Zombies songs. That, like...
I know.
Metal song. I was like, dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, well, like when you finish the first one, when you collect the yellow key card, because that's the first one you get, it played the fucking Zombies, I was like, no, motherfucker, don't do this shit to me.
Like, oh shit, round one, fuck.
Yeah, right. That was so we could dive into the campaign more. Again, spoiler alert. That mission right there, that was really cool because it was something that's never been done. Zombies in the campaign, and not like round-based zombies, but having zombies because it was incorporated into the story because of the cradle. That was cool because it was something different and new. But that was the only thing that was different and new in the campaign.
I would have to say, I'm glad they added something different, but have it to be like a taste, because if you try something different every game and it gets to where it's like something different every campaign mission, people I don't think will enjoy that.
No, they definitely it was good. They did it right. Like, it was just the one mission main. I mean, there was a couple other times where zombies came. Like, you'll get to it when you take the mirror shards. When you're Harrow going through her memories and stuff, you'll shoot other Jane Harrows that are zombies and stuff. Because she is, I think it's implied that she also was infected by Cradle. I think because when you're playing as Case in the laboratory or the facility that made the Cradle. It was brought up that but it was brought up because Case was case number 1 of Cradle. That's why they call him Case, right?
Well, yeah, the hint that you get at is when you drop down, like when you fall off, and you hit the ground, your mask breaks, and he breathes it in, and then that lady's voice comes up, and she's like, "We've already been affected by the Cradle." And
I think that's the same voice.
Shit, what?
I think that's the same voice actor who's played Jane Harrow. But they never came out and said that Harrow was also infected by Cradle. So I think it might just be kind of implied, or you'd have to make that inference. I'm not sure, because it was never directly said. But I think the reason I think it's implied is because of how the end of the game happens. Now, I agree. I did not really like how the end of the game was. I think it was it was like it was rushed. Like they ran out of time. Which is ridiculous because they had 4 years to develop this game. I didn't like, it was leading down a good path, and then it was just kind of
over.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's how this is gonna end. Like, this kind of sucks.
Shot my load early.
Yeah, so I
think that's another thing they did well is when they did the zombies mission, they did it to where it was like very creepily. Like, you're by yourself, nobody's talking in your ear. You have the lady in your head, and it was just like, damn, this is kind of fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. And you have to, you just have the one gun, right? There's other guns you could pick up, but there's no equipment, there's no perks, no nothing. And I mean, the zombies a lot, like, when you come out and the herd of woods come at you, they're all one hits. Dude, when the first group of zombies came out of there, because you go to walk down the stairs to the main hallway to go take the key to the main desk, dude, scared the shit out of me because I was not expecting that. I'm like, oh, just gonna walk. Holy shit,
dude! They
fucking come all rushing up the stairs. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck was that?
So when I was there's a record player that you play and then you can get a reward afterwards. Well, this is the first record player that I came across. It was in the locker room, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll play this, whatever. Dude, I play it. I didn't know zombies were going to come at me. And I get hit, and I turn around. There's, a group of them. And I'm like, oh, shit. Fucking kill him.
Great heavens. Great heavens.
Yeah. It was...
Excuse me, governor.
It was very...
that was really nice. Cool. Now, I'm trying to dance around the ending of it because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it goes back to when you play as Jane Harrow. She gets injected with some sort of... kind of like a truth serum thing, kind of like one of them deals. And that's how you go back, because she's the leader of the Pantheon. And so they're
one of my favorite twists.
Yeah, that was a good twist. But the reason you infect her or you inject this truth serum into her is you want to find out where they have the Cradle at, right? Like, where are they gonna release it? And it's kind of like, because if you did you play all of Cold War's campaign or no?
No, but I pretty much know all of it.
Okay, so but at the end when you're Belle and you're going through those red doors and all that stuff, and you have to go down to different paths, and Adler's telling you what path to take, but you can take different paths like that, and that was really cool. I like that, and they kind of did the same idea, but worse. because it's the same thing where you're like in a another dimension style deal, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, it was more linear and stuff. And like you were trying to explain the story of why Harrow is the way she is. And it goes back to when she was a kid, her parents got killed by a home invasion. But the home invasion was, sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you, Dylan. The home invasion was,
Wait. Don't tell me.
The home invasion was dispatched by the CIA. And so when it happens and the guy comes in, because little Jane is hiding in her closet or whatever, looking through the slats in the closet doors, and then the guy comes in, it looks like, it's Russell Adler. That is the one that was the CIA operative that went in to go kill her parents, who also both worked for the CIA. So, but then it turns out, no, it's actually not Adler. The Pantheon made Jane Harrow believe that Adler did it. And so that's why, and helped make her turn, because the Pantheon wants to be the one in charge at the CIA at Langley, right? So that's why their whole thing of the truth lies, their whole slogan they've been doing, is because the Pantheon has been lying about the truth to Harrow, right? Harrow thinks the Pantheon version of the story is true, but it's not. So it would have been really cool, because it would have been really sweet for the next Black Ops 7, the next sequel, if Russell Adler was actually the one that would have been the CIA operative, because then you could go into the story of, well, why were they dispatched? And they never really go into it either. Why was the CIA why did the CIA dispatch this operative to go kill Harrow's parents?
Right.
That was never brought up.
I think like
Sorry if I ruined it for you, Dylan.
It's all right. The thing that I had was God damn, I was trying to figure out what I was going to say. Now I just remembered what I was going to say before. The truth lies, right? That's their slogan, right?
Yeah.
Well, people theorize that they're also talking about Alex Mason. Spoiler alert for Black Ops 2. If nobody's played that, you fucktards.
Well, it's been out.
Play
That shit's been out for 10 years. There's no spoilers at this point.
So, people say that the truth lies because when you talk to Woods, he talks about David after Mason and stuff, and he's like, since Mason is gone, I want to be a father figure to David.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you just referenced Black Ops 2. Well, people said that Mason is actually still alive because of that slogan, like the truth lies. And I'm like,
I don't think so, because
I wouldn't go that far, but sure. If you want to believe that, go ahead. I think Mason is dead.
I do too. I think that's the canon, is that Mason's dead.
That's what Treyarch said that the canon is, but everybody's like, I don't want to believe that.
No,
that's guess what? Mason's
that's
dead.
the canon. Because this game is supposed to be set in after the events of 1989 in Black Ops 2, when, or I think 1989, 1990, when Woods and Hudson went to Panama and got compromised, and Raul Menendez shot Woods in the legs and make him paralyzed, and that's after Woods shot and killed Mason, and truly did kill him, not just injure him.
Yeah, I think it's the canon ending, because imagine you're Woods, and you get told, hey, this is Raul Menendez, by the way, so take the shot. All right, cool, I'm gonna fucking kill this motherfucker. And then you find out it's fucking Mason. It's like, oh shit, I just killed him.
Yeah. Like, why would you shoot? Because obviously everybody, unless someone knew already, like, no, I'm going to shoot him in the leg. Everybody probably took the shot, and then they find out it's Mason. But then, at this point, it was told that there was in Black Ops 2, there was different endings because of what decisions you make. People were like, well, what if we don't shoot and kill Mason? And then that's how that ending was found out. But the one thing the campaign was missing is that it's like they tried to do the same idea as Cold War. And I think Cold War's campaign, if you played Cold War's campaign about 6 months or so after the game came out, because if you played Cold War's campaign right when Cold War came out in 2020, the campaign was terrible because there were so many immersion breaks in the campaign. Like, you'd do a cutscene, and then all of a sudden the cutscene would like freeze, but the audio would keep going. And then all of a sudden, after like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, then the video would speed up to like 16 times to go catch up to the audio. And it's like, did the game just have a stroke? Do I need to call 911? What does it need an aspirin? What's going on here, right? But it's so if you played Cold War 6 months or a year after it came out and played the campaign, Cold War's campaign is a really good campaign. It's a really good story. And this one it's a good story, but I don't think it was executed. It could have been executed better. They did the safe house thing again, and I think that was the Cold War was cool, but it should have been a one and done. That should have been the one and done. I don't like the upgrade things you can do in the campaign, like your weapon upgrades or your training upgrade. I don't like that. Just give me, this is how it is. I don't want things to make it easier in the campaign. I chose hardened for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to choose hardened, but then make it into regular because I have now 150 hit points rather than 100. Now my gun has 0 recoil, right? I can reload in 0.3 seconds rather than in 2 seconds. I didn't like that part of it. I also, there was at times the campaign got a little repetitive. That big mission map where you're got to knock out the SAM turret sites and then the big missile things or whatever. You did this every time you walked up to a group of soldiers. You get out of the Jeep. You could either do it silently or you could do it loud, but it was the same thing every fucking time. There was nothing different amongst every single engagement that you had. It was the same thing every time. So that got a little boring and a little tedious. If I wasn't such a completionist, after about halfway through that thing, I'm like, all right, I'm bored. This is boring. But I was a completionist, so I did the rest. I did all the little check marks or whatever the fuck you had to do it. But I'm like, yeah, that was not a fan. Not a fan of that one.
Yeah.
And then having every mission being able to the choice to either go stealth or loud. Again, the repetitiveness of it. I liked the formula back in the day. You had missions that you had to be stealth because it was for a reason. You were it was you, Price, and Soap against a fucking army of motherfuckers in Nigeria or whatever. I understand that point, right? But there would only be the one mission, and then partway through the mission, you'd have to go loud because you reached whoever you need to, you got your information, and now you need to get out of there, right?
Right.
But then there was, it was just the choice was nice, but having the choice every time, too repetitive, right? But there was some good ideas. I think the casino mission was good. Because I liked how, again, it was something different. You got to play it in the perspective of everyone but Woods, right? You started out as Marshall because you have to get to the High Rollers Club. And then you switch over to I almost said Bell, wrong game, to Case because you gotta have Woods be hooked up to the cameras, right? And then you go back to Marshall when you get into the High Roller Club. And then he puts the thing on there. Then you get to play as Felix, right? And I think the only one I don't think you get to play as Sev. Do you?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you do that's right, at the end, because you have to go downstairs and call the elevator. And so that was cool because you jumped around to the different perspectives of everyone, right? Yeah. Where versus in old games, you would do your part and then you would show up at the end point and then magically Soap would be getting there at the same time, fucking cutting someone's throat, and he's done what he had to do. It was cool that you had to do everything. That was, I like that because it was something different. But I don't know. It was just, there was just something missing from the campaign.
Yeah, I don't think it's a top 10 campaign. I think it was a great campaign in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes, it definitely, since Cold War, it's the best campaign since Cold War, because the second Modern Warfare started off good, but then the last third of it sucked ass. And then Modern Warfare 3 was just straight garbage, and so was Vanguard. That one sucked. Vanguard, I think it had a decent story. The problem is they were trying to shoehorn too much unbelievable shit into it. So, and that kind of ruins it. Like a woman fighting in World War II. I don't think so. Sorry, I don't mean to sound sexist, but let's be real here. No, that didn't happen. Try again. I think this is a good. If Call of Duty takes how the multiplayer is and sticks to that formula, we're gonna be great. Multiplayer is gonna be good as long as they don't ruin it from here on out, right? With the Omni movement, not having too many guns to balance, not having trying to think. Well, I guess that's and having good skill-based matchmaking.
Yes.
That if they can stick with that, we're set. Campaign-wise, if I go by the overarching story, like how the stories are for campaigns, I like Treyarch's campaigns usually the best. If I go by how they're executed the best, Infinity Ward has the top takes the cake on that one for me.
Sledgehammer is just
Sledgehammer.
dud after dud.
Yeah,
Except for me, World War II, love that game. Love that game.
I think
Except for the
Sledgehammer's
ass.
Yeah, well, that's because that's when it was hardcore in the loot box shit. The first game that Sledgehammer was a co-lead developer on was Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare 3. And then the first game that they were the lead developer was Advanced Warfare. And I thought Advanced Warfare was okay. Kevin Spacey was phenomenal in that game with the voice acting. He was great. The story was okay. I mean, again, a little bit unbelievable that a private company had a military bigger than the U.S. Kind of hard to believe that, but okay, I understand it. You're running out of ideas. I never played the multiplayer in that because that was back when I didn't play multiplayer for COD, so can't say about the multiplayer. But campaign-wise, if we just go by campaign, Advanced Warfare was pretty good. World War II, the only reason I think it's as good as what a lot of people say it is because it was the return back to Call of Duty roots. Because it was the first game that wasn't the futuristic one in 5 games. Right? Black Ops 2 started the futurism because you go to 2025.
Yep.
And then you had Advanced Warfare. And then you had Black Ops 3, which was the worst, second to worst. It was preceded by Modern Warfare 3 from 2023. Is now the second to worst campaign ever done by Call of Duty. And then you have Infinite Warfare, which I thought was a pretty decent campaign. And then you have Black Ops 4, which is not even on the campaign spectrum because, well, there was no campaign. It was basically Warzone before Warzone was Warzone.
Cutscenes.
Yeah. And so World War II was the return to the Call of Duty roots. And so I think that's why people were like, yeah, it's good. But it's just like, was it though? Was it though?
I thought it
was it terrible? No. Was it great? No. It was above average, I would say.
All right, you ready to hear my controversial list then of top 10 COD games?
Well, I'm only up to number 4, but yeah, here you can continue on. Oh, by the way, now I'm going to move Cold War. Cold War is number 5 for best campaigns. I think the more I think about it, Cold War was really good, considering Treyarch only had 2 years to develop that game.
Now, here's the thing: a few of these are nostalgic purposes, just because, yeah. Number 1, obviously, is Modern Warfare 2. That campaign will not be topped, I don't think. Number 2, Black Ops.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Number 3, Modern Warfare 3. Number 4, Modern Warfare 1. I'm not a huge fan of Modern Warfare 1.
And by those, you mean the OG ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
These are the OG ones. Number 5, World at War. I really liked World at War's campaign.
Oh, shit, I forgot about World at War.
Number 6,
all right, we'll move that one down.
World War 2. I just love that campaign.
Which one?
World War 2.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
7, Black Ops 2. Again, not a huge. I haven't played it in a while, and the last time I played it, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Number 8, Ghosts. I thought that campaign was pretty good. Number 9 is Modern Warfare 1, 2019. And then number 10 is Modern Warfare 2.
So the second Modern Warfare 2, 2022.
2022? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
But like you said, this campaign doesn't even make it into the top 10.
Yeah, I say it's probably a good solid
I
there's
have
like
mine.
26
I have
campaigns. I think it's a solid.
how many
12 or
campaigns did you say?
26 of them.
No, there's not. I think. Well, let's see. This was the 20th COD game. No, 19th COD game. So, and there's only 18 campaigns because Black Ops 4 didn't have one. Call of Duty has came out every year except 2005. 2005, I believe, is the only year that did not have a Call of Duty game. The first one was 2004, I want to say. There wasn't one in 05. And then every year since 06, there's been a Call of Duty game.
There's 24 Call of Duty campaigns.
There's 24 of them?
24 Call of Duty Black Ops 4. More of a tutorial than a campaign, obviously. Literally, it's a tutorial and you get fucking things.
No. I forgot.
Call of
Okay,
Duty
let's see.
Black
1,
Ops
2, 3, 4,
Declassified.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so this, if you go by true titles in Call of Duty, this is the 21st game in the Call of Duty series and the 20th one with a campaign because Black Ops 4 doesn't count. So you had the first COD game. I got my years. Okay, the first COD game came out in 2003. There wasn't one in 2004. Then Call of Duty 2 came out in 2005. Call of Duty 6, which was the first one developed by Treyarch. The first two were by Infinity Ward. Was
And
2006.
Call of Duty 6 is Call of Duty World at War, right?
Call of Duty 4 is Modern Warfare, which was 2007, Infinity Ward. After that was World at War, 2008, which put Treyarch on the map for being able to make good games. And then it went. 2009 was Modern Warfare 2. 2010 was Black Ops. 2011 Modern Warfare 3. 2012 Black Ops 2. 2013 Ghosts. And then once you get Ghosts was the first game that was in the 3-year transition or 3-year development cycle. Because then it went Ghosts, then Advanced Warfare in 14, Sledgehammer, Black Ops 3, 2015, Treyarch, Infinite Warfare 2016, Infinity Ward, World War 2, 2017, Black Ops 4, 2018, Modern Warfare 2019, the remake, Cold War in 20, Vanguard 21, Modern Warfare 2 remake 2022, Modern Warfare 3 remake 2023, Black Ops 6 2024. I think so. Like the last two Treyarch games, Raven Software has been the co-lead developer with Treyarch on their games. I think this game is the best polished game that we've had in a long time out of Call of Duty, right? There's not a lot of bugs. There's not a lot of exploits. I've only had the game crash once during the campaign.
I haven't had it crash, but I do have a bug.
Oh, the money bug?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's like there's a few other bugs where it's like, this thing's floating. That's funny. But, it's not like game breaking, I think, and I attribute that to having a 4-year development cycle. Obviously they got rid of the 2-year thing 10 years ago because you're asking a lot for 2 years, right? And it showed with Black Ops only had Cold War only had 2 year, and Vanguard only had, and Modern Warfare 3 only had a 2-year development cycle. And Modern Warfare 3 sucked ass and continues to suck ass. Black Ops Cold War sucked ass at the beginning because it had a shitload of bugs. It didn't run smooth, but they made it better. I think they should move Raven Software to a lead developer role, and then you can be in a 4-year cycle for all the developers. I think that is the proper way now for a Call of Duty game, is to be in a 4-year cycle. Just because it takes so much for the motion tracking, motion sensing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, for the audio to make good maps because they're running out of ideas for maps, right? Having good stories that aren't rushed and blow ass. I think that's the proper way to do it. I don't know. It's going to be up to Microsoft. Maybe Microsoft brings in an outside developer who has never made a Call of Duty game, which I wouldn't be opposed of because then they could bring fresh ideas, right? If you've never made a Call of Duty game, you don't, like, you could give them the format or the formula, like, yep, this is how we usually make the games, but here, you know what? You could go on your own. You can make it however you want. Just make sure you have a campaign that's about 6 to 8 hours long. You have a multiplayer that has 12 maps on release and 9 to 10 or 8 to 10 different game modes with certain guns, and then have a third mode, either be it, have Treyarch make zombies or make a Spec Ops or make whatever you want. I would not be opposed to that. because it could bring in some good ideas. Now, it could backfire, but hey, you don't know if you don't try.
So there's a quite a thing going right now. So obviously, you know, let's start with Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Developers, Treyarch, Raven Software. Not a bad game.
Yeah.
Go up to the next one. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Developers, Sledgehammer Games. And on this website, it says more. Obviously, it's like, you know. Raven
There was a
Software.
lot of help because, again, it was only a 2-year cycle. But
Guess
that they
what?
were
Sledgehammer
the
Games, ass.
they were the lead developer.
Here we go. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 2022. Infinity Ward was the only developer. Not a bad game.
It was all right.
Obviously, there's some issues, you know, whatever.
The last third of it
Call of
sucked.
Duty Vanguard. Developers, Sledgehammer Games, Treyarch, Raven Software, Beanox, High Moon Studios, Activision Shanghai, and Demonware. Guess who's the lead developer on there? Sledgehammer Games. Guess what? Garbage. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Treyarch, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games. But you know who the lead developer was? Treyarch
And Raven. Treyarch and Raven Software. Well, if you go back, Sledgehammer's game Vanguard was supposed to come out in 2020. But the reason it didn't is because Sledgehammer and Raven Software were in a pissing match about different ideas. And so Activision stepped in and said, okay, Treyarch, move your game up a year, work with Raven. Sledgehammer, we're going to push your game back a year. And so I think because of that, it obviously hampered Cold War because it came out a year early, right? It was supposed to come out in 21, and now it came out in 20. And then also you had through COVID on top of that, right?
Yeah.
And then I think in 21, because now Sledgehammer, we don't know, they could have, whatever game they were making with Raven Software, they could have scrapped it and then made something fresh and different or went a different direction now. And so they had to redo a bunch of shit. I don't know. So I can't really give Vanguard a super fair shake, and I can't give Cold War a fair shake of initial release because of that situation right there. I don't know what all happened to the stories because of the developer switch. But yes, if you continue, what you're coming on to is that Sledgehammer, and I've said this for a while, Sledgehammer doesn't make good Call of Duty games. The only good Call of Duty game they made was their first one, Advanced Warfare. World War II, wasn't a fan of. Vanguard, yeah, right. And Modern Warfare 3, they managed to do worse than Vanguard, which was unbelievable. So I think Sledgehammer, the problem with Sledgehammer is that they are the least risky developer. They don't take risks, you know? I would say Infinity Ward is definitely the riskiest developer of when it comes to pushing the controversial part of it. Obviously, they have
Treyarch has a good part of that too, because I mean, look at World at War. They introduced a mode called Nazi Zombies. And
yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it's who's gonna stick up for zombies though, or for Nazis though?
Exactly.
You know, so
like,
that wasn't
kill him.
That wasn't a super hard, you know, controversial.
Yeah.
Not like what came out a year later with No Russian. That kind of takes the cake and will always take the cake unless they decide to do a 9/11 style mission. I'm just saying that nothing will top No Rushing unless they do a 9/11 style mission.
That's fair.
I'm just going to say that right now, okay? Because, I mean, No Russian was already in the terrorism spectrum. And so you already were hardcore terrorism. Sledgehammer, they don't take risks when it comes to their story. Like, oh, well, they did the No Russian style thing in Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, and it blew ass. It was so fucking neutered. It sucked. I believe I said the same thing last year. It was a neutered version of No Russian. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was watered down, for sure.
It was because you weren't even the one committing the war crime per se, right? Like in Modern Warfare 2 and No Russian, you were the one going around shooting civilians. You were actively doing it. Like in Modern Warfare 3, you had the bomb strapped to you. You had no part of it. You were an innocent bystander. Like that's the main difference between the two of them. You weren't the one that walked on the plane wearing a fucking bomb vest. So it's just... It was a super neutered down version of it.
And the oh my god, the fucking tease they had at the end of Modern Warfare 2 for it, I thought it was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to not be good.
Well, I think the problem is because at the end of Modern Warfare 2, the last third of it, if you actually look back halfway through development of Modern Warfare 2 2022, the writing team all left Infinity Ward. And so they had to bring in a whole bunch of new writers to finish the story. And so you can tell at what point during the campaign the initial writing team that did the original or the remake of Modern Warfare and the first 2/3 of Modern Warfare 2, you can tell when the writing took a shit. Because it was really good and then it was really fucking bad. And then they took the same writing team for Modern Warfare 3 because they only had a fucking year to make the story. And so they came with, and I'm sure having the cell phone drop at the end of Modern Warfare 2 was initially put in by the initial writers. And so now in Modern Warfare 3, like, oh, we got to find a way to do this, but we don't want to be too risky. We don't want to piss anyone off. I think that's the problem is they don't want to piss anyone off, except you're pissing off a lot of people by not taking any fucking controversial risks.
Yeah.
Like, I like that in video games. I like you pushing the envelope of what is... the controversial. Does every game need to have a no Russian style mission? Fuck no. No, that does not need to happen, right?
Listen,
but it can have something that like...
If GTA 5 can get a mature 17 rating and they show titties in there, you can do something controversial, okay?
Yeah. Like, in Modern Warfare, the 2019 game, there was an interrogation scene where you're looking at the Butcher, that's his name, the Butcher with a gun, a pistol, right? And you can also turn it and point it at his fucking wife and kids. Or you could turn it back to him and you could shoot him. Now the gun's not loaded, right? So it just clicks, and then Captain Price is like, well, that would have been a shame if that was loaded, huh? Or something like that. And but that's quite controversial because not so much pointing it at the guy, but you're pointing it at his wife and kids who have nothing to do with what he's doing directly. Right? So it's like that is pushing the envelope on that aspect. Not to the point of no Russian, because they won't ever do that again. But that's and there's if you've ever, I know you've heard this before. There's a term in marketing that there's no such thing as bad PR. If because Modern Warfare 2, what is the most amongst the COD community? What are probably the two most well-known missions in in Call of Duty history? No Russian, and All Gillied Up. Now, All Gillied Up was for a different reason because it was a fucking bomb-ass mission, right? But No Russian is the most well-known mission in Call of Duty history.
And or when Ghost dies. When Roach and Ghost die.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good... But that's
Shepard's
just a...
betrayal, too.
Right, but that's just a moment in the campaign. I'm saying as a mission overall.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was just a 15-second, 30-second thing in the campaign. Where the mission overall took you 10 minutes, 15 minutes in No Russian, right? That was an entire 15-minute block of time. That... And the new games just don't have moments like that. Where it's like, that is going to be an iconic Call of Duty moment. The new ones just don't have that. They do, but for the wrong reasons. Modern Warfare 3 2023 has it, but not for the right reasons.
At least if you're not going to do an iconic moment like that, take a page out of Black Ops 6's book where they did zombies. It's like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to remember that. Like,
yeah, because it was something different.
I always hoped for was that they would at least cross paths at some point, like where zombies would enter or somehow. And the fact that they did it, I was losing my shit. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually fucking killing zombies in a campaign mission. Mm. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was.
No, it's not that cool when you think about it, but it's still pretty nice. It's like, that's gonna be
right, but
remembered.
Right, but at the same time, don't ever do it again, because now if you do it again, now it's not special.
Exactly.
Makes, and I think that's what makes No Russian so special is that it's never been done again, to that extent. Right?
Yeah.
It's its own thing. Like if every Call of Duty game had a mission like that after time, it would be like, all right, what's the No Russian style mission this time? Oh, now I'm shooting up. Now I'm shooting up a fucking shopping mall. All right, what is it this time? Oh, a school. Cool. Whoa. Well, now we're just being like the real world. You know, it would just get boring and monotonous. So
I think like another thing is what like the Black Ops campaign does or Black Ops series does well is they keep their main character like a mysterious like person. Like you don't know much about them. You don't. You know, all you know is this, and then they might have an issue with them. Alex Mason had numbers going on, and he was a double agent. Now you didn't realize it till, you know, where they're like, the numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's one thing that I like about this one is that you really feel like Case is just, the only thing you know about him is his first name, William. And it's just like, damn. And then you finally do that mission where it's like, oh, you were affected by the Cradle too. And you're like, oh, shit, really? All right, cool. Got some Case lore. But then that's it. Like, you're just a main character.
yeah,
You don't know what he looks like. You don't know any of that shit.
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. So I'd say that's our thoughts on the Black Ops 6 game.
and Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty overall. But yeah, for multiplayer wise, definitely a very good multiplayer campaign. It's just missing that oomph. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Zombies is
Zombies,
most
I
of the
haven't.
time pretty good.
Zombies, I haven't quite played enough of it, so I can't have a true opinion on it. I've only played it
But-
once.
Like Modern Warfare. I'm just glad they didn't do fucking Modern Warfare 3 shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That was ass.
I
wanted to cry. They literally ruined zombies for me.
they killed
in
my
that
boy.
game.
They killed him.
They massacred my
My
boy.
boy. I think if they could have, if there's two things that they could not do in the campaign again, it's that open world style mission. Because it was very Warzone like, and if I wanted to play Warzone, I'd play Warzone.
Play Warzone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Warzone in the campaign. I'm playing the campaign for the campaign. And then also, I do want more linear style missions rather than being every mission being open to however I want to play it. I do want more linear style missions where like this is the path, you must go on this path
Yeah.
and stuff like that. One last thing. One thing I did like that Cold War had that this game didn't completely, well, not at all actually, is that so like this game in the safe house, right? There was the UV black light. You could do, you do the piano thing to open up the bunker downstairs, and you do a bunch of different things like that. That was cool, but one thing I like that Cold War had is that you would collect stuff during missions. Right? As you complete missions, or campaign missions, you would collect stuff and you would find stuff out. And then you would have to figure out, there were side missions, but to do the side missions, you would have to figure out, okay, there's 9 people here. Who is actually the one we need to go after and kill? But you don't know until you complete other missions along the line and collect intel. That I really liked, and I wish they would have done that again.
Yeah.
I really liked that. So I am going to assume, in fact, I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to assume that next year's game, Call of Duty 2025, is... Oh, no, that's right. 2025 is also supposed to be another Black Ops game. That's right. Treyarch's going back-to-back on developing games. I forgot about that. Because, yes, this one, I think next year's Black Ops is supposed to jump up to... the end of Black Ops 2, like in 2025. I think that's what the next game. So I'm going to assume next year's game is also developed by Treyarch. So, and I believe then that would put Infinity Ward on the 4-year cycle.
Nope. Infinity Ward is going to.
Oh, that's a big
Release.
change. Infinity Ward has never developed a Black Ops game. That's been
No. Call of Duty 2025 reportedly a return to Modern Warfare 4 instead of Black Ops 7's. Has fans worried for the future of the franchise. Damn. As long as Sledgehammer Games isn't putting their grubby little fingers on it, we'll be all right.
So, this was posted 9 months ago, so shit can change. From Tom Henderson, I don't know if you knew who that is, but he's a really big guy who will release leaked information in the Call of Duty world. He said that Call of Duty 2025, granted this was 9 months ago, so 20 months from release, does not have an assigned main developer, which is not good 20 months from release of a game. But he said it was his understanding that it was supposed to be Sledgehammer Games, but following the last 16-month development cycle of Modern Warfare 3, they did not want to become a 2-year support studio, which I don't disagree. Now, High Moon Studios was in the running at one point to make it a 4th studio in the mainline Call of Duty series, but he believes that it would likely fall to Treyarch Games again. So, and I thought that's what it was supposed to be too, that Treyarch was going to have back-to-back Call of Duty games, and then Infinity Ward was going to have 2026 with probably another Modern Warfare game.
Yeah.
Where you have to go kill Makarov, except it's babyface Makarov. So I don't know. I guess we'll because everything right now is still about Black Ops 6 rather than next year's 2025 COD game. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I would honestly be shocked if, well, because you said they're now going to do Modern Warfare 4 for next year rather than Black Ops 7. It would be. So that would be that I could see, because I could not see Treyarch letting Infinity Ward do a Black Ops game, or vice versa. Infinity Ward letting Treyarch do a Modern Warfare game, because that's their own separate IPs, per se. I mean, you're both under the Black Ops brand, but you think of Modern Warfare, you think Infinity Ward. You think of Black Ops, you think Treyarch.
Treyarch, yeah.
I
think the big issue is that they let Sledgehammer Games finish Modern Warfare 3 and don't. Infinity Ward, if you're somehow, some way listening to this, don't fucking do it again.
Well, it's not their choice.
Don't do it again.
It's all what Activision wants.
Oh, trust me, Activision, if Microsoft sees that Sledgehammer Games lost them money, they're going to have Infinity Ward do Modern Warfare 4. Guarantee it. Sledgehammer is going to have a very small part, if not no part at all, in developing that game.
So I would, like I said, I would like to see Raven Software become a 4th lead developer on Call of Duty games, because then we could be in a 4-year development cycle.
I think
I would be willing to give Sledgehammer one more chance under a true 3 or 4 year development cycle, not a 2-year, because I understand you're rushed. You can't do things properly, have a good story, a good length campaign in 2 years. You can't do it anymore with, So I would be willing to give them one last chance and have here you go. Here's your one last chance to make a good Call of Duty game. You have 4 years to do it. Your game will come out in 2027, right? Here's your chance to, if you don't, you're no longer a lead developer on Call of Duty.
I agree with that. I think, let's bump up Raven Software, because, they worked on a lot of Call of Duties.
Well, like I said, the last 2 Treyarch games, they've been co-lead developers with Treyarch.
So I think, they should develop their own Call of Duty game and have it as a World War II game. No, because, listen, every single one of Activision's developers has done a World War II game. Infinity Ward developed the first 2, and they were World War II games. Treyarch did the 3rd. Unfortunately, Treyarch, I'm so sorry, the 3rd Call of Duty.
Treyarch technically did 2 World War II games, because then World at War was another one. Yeah.
Sledgehammer did World War II.
Yep. And then Vanguard.
So
what you want Raven Software to do 2 World War II games, because every developer has done 2.
Sure, but I think it would be nice to have a fresh set of eyes on the World War II, because I think Sledgehammer did a decent job with World War II, except people are just it was all right. So I think Raven Software, they know how successful they can be. So
they've Raven
it'd be nice to
in
at
the
least
past.
return to it.
Raven has been in charge of remastering Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. So, and like I said, they've been code lead developers with Treyarch, so they know the Call of Duty formula. They've had their fingers in the pies of making a Call of Duty game, right? The reason I disagree is because we have 6 Call of Duty games based in World War II.
Or
6
do a
of them.
World War one. That would be kind of cool.
That's more Battlefield. That's Battlefield's territory.
Ugh, Battlefield, gross.
And
Fucking EA.
The idea I was going to bring up is I would be okay if Raven did it, except you were the perspective of the Nazis. And you were the ones fighting in World War II, except you were actually winning. Right? So you'd be kind of stealing the idea of Wolfenstein, right? But Wolfenstein was if the Nazis did win the war, right? And then how the world would be if the Nazis won. I think it would be cool because if you do it again, you're just repeating the same shit over and over again, because if you make it historical, or you at least follow the historical line, it's been done before. It's already been done. So that's why I think if you're going to do a World War II game, do it to where you don't follow history at all. In the sense of like how everything played out. You know, you can still have the same guns, still have the same tanks, you know, you still have the same factions or sides, but now you're the perspective of the Nazis and you're actually winning the war. That, I think, would be a better, because then that would be something new. Every time you've always been fighting the Nazis, you've always been beating the Nazis, beating them back. Now you've turned it on its head. And then that would bring the controversy part of Call of Duty back into it. Now you're the Nazis fighting in World War II, and you're winning.
And then guess what? You know what game you can do after that? The Japan side, and it ends with
you could
sun. Do.
Right? No, but you could do it like how World at War did it, where you're playing as both the Americans and the Russians. You can do the same thing. You're playing in the Pacific Theater and the Atlantic Theater. You know, you're playing as the Nazis and as the Japanese, right? And you know, the Nazis, you can be with the Nazis because how America developed the atomic bomb was because we had Nazi scientists. What if those Nazi scientists never left Germany?
Oh, so you're talking more about a what-if game.
Right, yeah, what if? Kind of like I said, like Wolfenstein is what if the Nazis would have won World War II?
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, that's what I mean. Like, you're playing as the Nazis, and the Nazis are winning. They're actually beating the Russians. They actually made it to Stalingrad. They actually are beating the British in bombing the shit out of London and winning the UK. You know, it's that I think would be fun because you can, and then the same thing with the Japanese. The Japanese are beating the Americans in the island hopping. They won the Battle of Midway. They won a bunch of other different battles. You know, Iwo Jima didn't happen because of, you know, it happened after, or you could start where like, you can even start it with the Nazis, like during the Battle of the Bulge. The reason it's called the Battle of the Bulge is because the Nazis threw a Hail Mary at the end of World War II, and the front line bulged out because the Nazis did start winning because they had way more forces behind what they had until the Americans and the Allies could catch up and then push them back.
Right.
I think it would be something different on the World War II scale. Because I guess if you just do World War II again, it's already been done.
What would you name it then?
I don't know. I'm not in the naming business. World War Nazi.
You can't. WWN.
WWN.
You can't say like Call of Duty What If because.
No, it would be Call of Duty. Call of Duty. I don't know what you would call it. If you're kind of putting me on the spot, so I haven't had time to think about it, you know? But I think that would be cool because it would be something different, and then the whole game would have the controversy involved in it. You know, and if you do it right, I mean, you could do a one and done for that game, if you do the story right, you could make it a multiple game series.
You could say Call of Duty stories and like, at obviously work in progress, right? But you could do it to where not only could you do like, okay, what if the Nazis won, whatever? That could be your first game, right? Okay, and what if Alex Mason became the secret agent? What if, instead of him being freed, what if they didn't realize he was?
No, you know what?
And,
I like
you become a fucking
no, because you're meddling in the Black Ops thing. You got to be your own thing. You got to be your own thing.
Yes,
but
that,
I but,
okay, what if Ghost didn't die during that mission? Exactly.
No, because you're still.
That's the thing. You have to do. You're gonna have to cross paths with other IPs. Because,
no, you don't have to because
in fact, nobody's gonna jump the gun on buying. Oh, okay, the Nazis are winning. Let me get that copy.
No, well, if you market it right though, like if you like Wolfenstein, how do they market it as? What if the Nazis won? Yeah, what if? How would the world be if the Nazis would have won World War II? Would we all be speaking German? Oh, I like that idea of Call of Duty. Don't call it stories because that's a lame name, but you could whatever. But you could have a story of what if the Nazis, what if the Axis powers, so Germany, Italy, and Japan had won World War II. Yeah, that could be one game. Another game could be Korea. What if North Korea would have won in Korea? So there is no North and South Korea. It's all one Korea, but it's all just
what if the USA
North Korea.
Won in Vietnam?
Yeah, exactly. You can do that. What if the U.S. would have won in Vietnam? How different would it be? Because Vietnam was a giant waste of fucking time. What if the Russians would have would still the Soviet Union? What if the Russians would have won the quote-unquote Cold War? What if we would have had nuclear? What if the Cuban Missile Crisis actually turned into something rather than becoming a nothing burger? I think if you do that, that would be something different, right? And that could be Raven's little own thing. This is how we do our Call of Duty story, our Call of Duty games.
Call of Duty for the last hour and 15 minutes.
It is what it is. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
It is what it is.
It's a lot to talk about. It's a big fucking story arc. So, I would like. It's just an idea.
We'll give you ideas, all right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a bunch of ideas I wish they would have done. Like when this game first came out, I'm thinking, yes, they're finally doing Desert Storm. Finally, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. This is not a game about Desert Storm.
Didn't even touch it.
Didn't even touch it. Yeah,
they barely touched it, and it was like not even touched.
Oh, you brought up Saddam Hussein, but no. Like I take that back. You know what? The first game.
There you go. Raven Software, Desert Storm.
No. I've said this for a while. The game that if Raven Software becomes a lead developer, which I believe they should, you need to do Call of Duty War on Terror. Because you could start with Desert Storm. You can do the first attacks on the Twin Towers in 1995, I think it was. You could encompass 9/11. You could encompass us going in and capturing Saddam Hussein. You could encompass.
And you could do
the killing
mission of us driving the plane into. Now I'm playing.
I've said I think Call of Duty could do that, a 9/11 style mission, and get away with it.
I think
because
if
you did it right, correct, right? If you did it that way, I think you could get it. You could do it. Like that would be the perfect way to end a game. That's how you are. Even if you didn't have the balls to actually be in control of one of the planes going into the Twin Towers or the Pentagon,
be a civilian.
You could be a civilian on Flight 93 that took down the plane in Pennsylvania.
Or
I'm sorry.
You could be like a person in the Twin Tower, and the mission objective is to escape.
Right. I think exactly. That would be a good way to do that, and that could end the game. That game right there before, that could be Call of Duty World on War, War on Terror 1, or whatever, or War on Terror, and then the next game could be after 9/11, picking up the pieces after 9/11. I think that would be a good way.
Ravensoft, we can be your storyteller. No,
Yeah. Well, we could give you the ideas. We don't know how to write a story, but we can give you the ideas, right? But you could have a mission where you go into Iraq, which was a mistake overall, going into Iraq and going after Saddam Hussein.
Pause. It's 7:19 p.m. on November 2nd, 2024. Ravensoft, if you make this a game, we will sue.
We will sue. This is our day. This is our idea. IP right now, trademark right now.
Listen, we're willing to work but at a specific price. Pizza and beer. That's it. No, I'm playing. I have bills to pay. I need
maybe some free cocaine along the way would be nice too. But free drugs. But you could do a mission where we're SEAL Team 6 going into and killing Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Because that did not go off without a hitch. A fucking helicopter crashed during that mission. We lost a Black Hawk during that mission. So because it hit one of the.
Could you imagine being a SEAL member and then all of a sudden, ooh, what the fuck was that? We're trying to be quiet out here, boy.
Yeah. God damn it. All right, going loud. You could do that, but then, like, the war on terror didn't just end with Osama bin Laden. Then you had ISIS come in. And then you can encompass all the, Europe's for a while, before. Sorry, I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it. Before Trump went in and kicked ISIS's ass during his 4 years as presidency, ISIS had a stranglehold on Europe when it came to terrorist attacks. Think of the one when they went and they blew up the bombs. I think it was, or maybe it was guns, whatever it was, at that airport. I think in Germany, I want to say, or no. Maybe it was Turkey. It was Turkey. That's what it was, because they were in baggage claim where you don't go through security and baggage claim, right? But there's still a lot of people there. You could do stuff like that. Like, you could make a 3 or 4 or however you want to do it. A lot of games based off that, right? And you don't have to follow it completely historically. Like, there are main points, yeah. Like, you would have to hit, like, 9/11. Like, killing Saddam Hussein. Like, I'm sorry, capturing Saddam Hussein, like killing Osama bin Laden, stuff like that. You would have to hit those points, but how you get to that point, free range, because all that shit's classified anyways, right? Like, you have no idea how we actually got some of that stuff or how we got to there. So it would open up a lot of creative free. I've said that I don't know why they haven't done that yet. I think they're just too scared, because they know they would have to encompass a 9/11 style mission to do it properly, and they're too scared to do it.
Listen, there's a certain way to do it, and you can do it well. Like, you don't have to, like, you don't even have to show, like, the planes hitting the towers.
Well, I guess
if you really want to do it and you want to do it safely, you could just have it to where the ending mission or whatever it is just,
a cutscene.
Yeah, a cutscene where
no,
the towers
like
are smoking.
I don't like that. No,
I don't like that.
How we said how you do it, I think that is the way of doing it, to where you don't have the complete balls to do it, but you still have more balls than what Sledgehammer did in Modern Warfare 3. Like, if you're a passenger on Flight 93 that crashed in Shanksville because the passengers took over and fought back against the terrorists and crashed the plane, right? You could do that. Or, like you said, you could be a worker in the North Tower when the plane hits and you need to escape, right? Now, it wouldn't be the true form of a Call of Duty mission style where you're killing people, but, like, that, I think you could do that, and that would be a good way to do it. Because you're still being controversial because you actually are having a 9/11 mission, but you're not going to piss off you're not going to piss off people because you're a terrorist flying one of the United flights or American flights into the Twin Towers or into the Pentagon.
And you don't have to be like, where you're showing people jumping out of the building or anything.
No, you don't need to be like that.
Just do it to where you feel the rumble of the tower, and then you're like, oh shit, what the hell happened? And then there's an account online where this dude saw a crack scene, and people just thought it was because of a gas line explosion. So then they just started, like, moseying down, and then all of a sudden they feel something, like, next to them collapse, and it was the South Tower.
Yeah.
But they had, this dude had gone underneath into the mall area and into a side tunnel to where you can get out onto the actual street. And the South Tower fell, so all the dust and debris just caked in,
Yeah.
So it's just like, you could do something like that to where it's like, it's a perspective. It's not supposed to be, haunting or anything like that.
No. I think...
And another reason why it's a good idea, you immortalize that moment. No one will ever forget that.
Yeah. I think the best, debating between either being a guy getting out of the tower or a passenger fighting back, I think the best way would be a passenger fighting back, because that would be the Call of Duty style.
Yeah.
I think the best way to be it was that you start off in the morning at, I think all the flights came out of JFK or LaGuardia, I want to say, or maybe Newark, in that area, right? You are one of the passengers that you would get on flight 93, right? You're a passenger that would get on flight 93, but you don't say it directly. Like, your Call of Duty mission starts, it pops up the stuff at the bottom left of the screen. It says who you are, what time it is, what day of the year, where you're, shit like that. You could just pop up, this is, you do use a fake name, right? Doesn't matter. Unless you get approval from one of the families to use actually one of their names, but use a fake name. This is John Smith, and it's, John F. Kennedy Airport, September 11th, 2001. And then that's all you put right there, right? And then you start off the mission by going through the lax security that there was back then to show how easy it was for the terrorists to do this, because there was basically no airport security back then. You go down the jet bridge, you get on your plane, you sit down wherever you're at, and then you could then do the cutscene and jump to the part where the terrorists take over the plane. And then you get up and you fight the terrorists back. You go down there and you help crash the plane, because you find out that they're going to do bad things. You don't know that the other things have happened from 9/11, like the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, right, because there's no such thing as, there's no cell phones. There was internet, but there's no cell phones back then in the sense of like iPhones and shit. So you don't know this, right? You don't know. You just know that these terrorists are going to do something, and you're going to die anyways because they're going to crash it into something. So why don't we just save all these innocent people on the ground and do it ourselves? Right. I think that is the best way to do it. You can flush, and it doesn't need to be a super long campaign mission. It can only take you 10 minutes because it's the end of, say, one of the games. That would be the end of the game. Was the plane crashing into the ground, all that shit. And then you could put up something about, 2,990 some odd people, I don't remember what it is exactly, died on 9/11 and, on September 11th, 2001. And we've been fighting a war against terror ever since that point. That would be the perfect way to end the first game. You could end the first game like that of Call of Duty War on Terror. So that is how you do it. Raven, go up to Spencer, I don't remember his last name, who's in charge of Microsoft, who runs Microsoft Games. Go up there and say, we want to be your own developer for Call of Duty. And do this. Hire me and Dylan. We'll give you some great fucking directions to go. Damn it. We will get you there. So, okay. So I'm going to scrap our Functional Idiots React because holy shit.
Yeah, you think that's going to come back?
Yeah, no.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, no, coming next thing. So we'll go through our Stupiders list of Halloween-themed porn film names.
I came up with a few other ones, too. So.
Oh, did you now? Well, you can't talk about porn films and not have some sexiness going on in the background, man. So, Dylan, why don't you start us off with what are your Halloween-themed porn names?
So, mine is number 5, Breeding Mummies. For Attack of the Brown-Eyed Monster. You can thank Brianna for that one. She gave me that one. 3, Trick or Skeet.
I like that. Okay, Trick or Skeet.
Number 2, Pumpkin Pussy 3, because you had to have a sequel,
Well, multiple sequels, apparently.
1 is Spooky Coochie.
Spooky Coochie.
Some honorable mentions. Vampire Cuties, I Want to Suck Your Cock. Graveyard Smash, Pussy to Die For.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. I have 10 of them now because I just came up with one. didn't come up with it. I thought about it, but I finally remembered to write it down. These aren't in any particular order, so I'm just going to list off my 10.
Yeah.
So mine is start off with dick or treat.
Okay, we both had the same idea of doing trick or treat.
The Headful Horseman.
Okay, that's a good one.
Cunt Dracula.
Dracula?
Nightmare on MILF Street.
Gotcha. These are actually decent.
The Witches Bitches. Goblin Frankenstein's Cock. Obviously, Goblin is Goblin. Goblin. Welcome to the Haunted Whorehouse. The Hunchback Shot of Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Hunchback Shot. The Fucko Lantern 69. And Gargoyling Casper's Cock.
What did we say was going to be our our example that we're going to use?
I don't remember.
I just thought of one.
Oh, Cream and Casper.
Cream and Casper, that's what it is. Hocus Poke Us? Like H.
Oh!
Hocus? Yeah. Hocus Pocus?
You stole that from a Pornstar Birthdays.
What?
Hocus Pocus.
Really?
Yeah, it was last episode's Pornstar Birthdays.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Great minds think alike.
I guess so. Well, since we're talking about porn stars, we could just roll right into Pornstar Birthdays, why don't we? So for this edition of Pornstar Birthdays, let me where's my mouse? Mark. This edition of Pornstar Birthdays, we have our normal 3. We'd like to wish a happy birthday to Agatha Vega, who turned 27 years old on Spooky Day, Halloween. Being born in 1997, a Venezuelan from Caracas, Venezuela, she started in porn at the age of 23 in 2020. Standing at 5'4" with 34 Bs on the top end. You can arm wrestle the purple-headed stormtrooper. To her over 120 credited films such as Butt Plugged in the Shower.
Oh, shit, dude.
Can also catch her in Sticky Fingers 1. She makes an appearance in The Sweet Taste of Yummy Pussies.
Jesus Christ.
And you can also see her in Almighty Dildos. So happy birthday to Agatha Vega. Also happy birthday to Lola Fox, who turned 33 years old on November 1st, being born in 1991. An American from Los Angeles, California. In 2011, at the age of 20 is when she got her start in the porn industry. With 32 C's and her 5-foot frame, she's been nominated for the award's Most Epic Ass, Clam Crazed Coos of the Year, Best Ass-Licking Artist, and Masturbator of the Year. She's also won the awards Pussy Eating Princess of the Year. And these are some out there awards. Just going to say that. Favorite Dick Smeller.
Huh?
Huh? Yeah. You thought that was thank God she does anal now. What? And the friendliest cum junkie.
What the fuck?
You can do the do to her nearly 450. To her nearly
masturbating fucking innuendos that get me.
To her nearly 450 credited films, like Don't Get Mad, I Fucked Your Dad 1.
Dude, what the fuck?
Ass Crack Addicts.
How much did this crack without the guy smoke?
That's what I thought. You can also catch her in Poke This, Pocahontas. She also stars in Young, Hung, and Full of Cum. So happy birthday to Lola Fox. And finally, happy birthday to Alexis Adams. She turns 32 years old on November the 3rd, being born in 1992. An American from Dade City, Florida. She started in porn in 2012 at the age of 20. Standing at 5'5" with a set of 34 C's. You can fuck, and this is for those that lost a finger in Nam. You can play the 4-knuckle shuffle. To her nearly. God damn it. Jesus Christ.
For those that lost a finger in Nam. Like, there's people that are like fucking 80 listening to this fucking podcast.
Hey, I don't want to make them feel left out.
Give you to the 4-knuckle shuffle.
They're already having a shit hand because they got fucking Agent Orange, alright? Let them be. Let them fucking crank it up every once in a while. God damn. You can catch her in one of her nearly 400 credited films, such as Bone Appetitties,
Bone Appetitty.
Titterific 32, in the spirit of Halloween, Horror, and Perfect Camel Toe.
Oh.
And so happy birthday to them ladies. God damn, you can do the do.
Do the do.
Don't be mad, I fucked your dad one. Oh my god, these fucking names. Oh, Christ. Oh. Okay, Dylan, who is your functional idiot of the week?
Functional idiot of the week is a guy in Florida.
Shocking, Florida of all places.
If you can see a trend going with my functional idiots of the week is Florida. A 93-year-old Florida man was accused of attempting to murder his wife. Okay? So, him and his wife have been married for 60 years, right?
Mm.
And apparently she claimed that he was in pain, right? And he wanted to kill her because she didn't want her to be alone, right? Because he planned on killing himself.
So wait. So hold on. He believed that she was in pain.
No. She said that he was in pain and wanted to, like, he said he wanted to die, him himself.
Okay, so he wanted to commit
He
suicide.
wanted
Gotcha.
to kill her because he didn't want her to be alone. It's like that. Okay, that's a little fucked up. But it gets even more fucked up, and the reason why he is a functional idiot is he tried to not kill her only once, but kill her twice in the same month. My guy.
Nice. As one does.
Yeah, he tried to smother her with a pillow, right? And the second time he walked up behind her and tried to strangle her with a rope. Well, I'd like to say this right now. If you're 93 years old, you ain't got that much strength, all right? Now, needless to say, obviously his wife is also not going to have that much strength, but it's like trying to get suffocated or choked out by a marshmallow. One good hit and you're dead.
Okay.
But yeah, he ended up going to jail for attempted murder because he not only tried to do it once, but tried to do it twice in the same fucking month.
Shocking. Wow. Hey, it wasn't fucking successful the first time.
Hey, it wasn't successful either times.
Well, that's true too. My functional idiot of the week goes to more than just one person. It goes to a large group of people. And that large group of people is of not everybody amongst this community, but enough of the community. It's the Black Lives Matter community.
Oh, shit. All right. See you guys. I'm out of here.
And the reason I do this, the reason I bring this up is now, I'm not saying that Black lives don't matter. I'm not saying that. The reason I bring this up is and you haven't heard anything of this because it's kind of a nothing burger amongst why they're pissed off. 2 weeks ago, or so, a little over 2 weeks ago, in Virginia, a police officer went up to, in Fairfax County, went up to an apartment building, and went up to a room, or one of the residents there, just in Reston, just outside of Washington, D.C., because, and this was actually on September 16, because cops were called out to carry out a welfare check on this person, Sydney Wilson, who was 33. So they, and there's the body cam footage got released of it because, of course, it was a white officer who killed a black woman. So, oh, Jesus Christ, blah, blah, blah. So they released the body cam footage of it. So it starts off, the police officer knocks on the door. Sydney Wilson comes out, and the police officer says something, and she says, oh, okay, whatever. She closes the door, and then she comes back out and swipes a knife at the police officer and gets him in the head, right? Cuts him up. He starts bleeding. So eventually, he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? So he backs up, pulls out his sidearm, and, is pointing it at her. And she's standing at the, probably 20, 30 feet down the hallway from her, or from him, and he's holding this gun at her, telling her to step back, stop it, drop it, all that stuff. She walks towards him, knifes him in the head, not once, but 2 more times, before he even fired a shot at her. And eventually, he fired a few more times because she kept going after him after he already shot her once, and he ended up killing her. And everybody in the some people in the Black Lives community are claiming that this was an unjust killing. I'm sorry, fucking what? There's literally a photo of the police. You could see it on the body cam footage. Blood falling off the dude's face. She's wielding a knife at him, actively attacking him, attacked him 3 times with the knife before he even fired a shot. How is this unjust? Please explain this to me. How is it unjust? He did everything right. In fact, he probably waited too long to even shoot her in the first place. But, it probably was in the back of his mind is, oh, Christ, I'm a white guy shooting a black woman. I don't want to shoot her by accident, because holy hell, and let her fucking stab him or cut him like 3 times before he killed her. Rightfully speaking. Just want to say that. Sorry for the family out there, but your fucking daughter is a cunt and a stupid ass.
It's also not, I don't think that was going through his head. He did a decently good job of holding off as much as he can, because that's what police officers are trained to do. They're supposed to hold off until lethal force is necessary. So yeah, she swipes him, and he's like, okay, maybe, probably thinking on his feet, I'm not going to shoot her yet. She might,
Yeah.
She might be acting out of, psychosis or something. But the fact that she came at him again and then hit him twice, okay, yeah, that's enough, to be like, okay, I'm going to have to kill her because it's either me or her.
Right. And there's a photo of him sitting there, and his forehead is just freaking falling blood out of him. Like, what the hell is he supposed to wait till? He's dead? Is that when he's supposed to wait until he can shoot her? All right, you're dead, you can shoot her now. Oh, wait, that's right, you're dead. That's why this didn't really go anywhere, because people amongst the Black Lives community who just said that it was a white guy shooting, and it was actually an Asian police officer, doesn't matter, white guy shooting a black woman, and then everybody was like, the dude got stabbed 3 times. What is he supposed to, when is he allowed to open fire to save himself? Because she was going to kill him. I don't know if you watched the body cam footage of it, Dylan.
I did.
You did. It's like she had death in her eyes. Her eyes were red. She was going to kill him. I don't care who you are. She was gonna kill him if he did not kill her. Was gonna happen. I don't know why she decided to fucking take a line of cocaine and do this shit. It's kind of the whole thing. You never bring a knife to a gunfight because guns tend to win out, and this proves it. So I don't know what was wrong with her, what mental issue she had. I don't want to say what I'm actually thinking right now because it is going to piss off a lot of people, but for anybody out there that thinks this is an unjust killing, you're a fucking retard, okay? You're a fucking retard. This is the most just, there is nothing more just than this, okay? He was attacked 3 times with a knife, is actively bleeding, and the person keeps coming after him. What do you want him to do? He didn't go there. All he did was he didn't go there and instigate anything. He showed up to do a welfare check. I don't know if the neighbors called in and said, hey, there's something going on in apartment, 420. Nice. Can you come by and check it out? Sure. Okay. It could have been something like that. He did nothing to instigate this. He knocked on the door. She answered, closed the door, and then came out and started fucking knifing him.
Yeah. I my big issue is if you want to call it an unjust killing, that's on you. But it really isn't, because I could put them in, you could be put in the same situation where, you have someone who is having a mental breakdown or having mental issues, and they come up to you and start doing that shit. What, are you going to try and wrestle the knife from them? You're going to be dead by the time you try to do that.
Yeah, not going to happen.
So,
yeah, I don't.
Sorry, I also don't believe that it is an unjust killing. He defended himself.
Yeah, like this is, and that's why this never made national news, because even the stupid liberal media news outlets were like, yeah, this is a rightful, not saying it's a rightful killing, but he rightfully defended himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, so it doesn't go to the woman. I don't know what kind of mental break she was having, what her deal was, if she was cocked up on some fucking meth or what the deal was. But my functional idiot goes to the people who think this is an unjust killing. You're a fucking retard. Okay?
Don't get me wrong. There is a huge issue, and obviously we're not going to get into this on this podcast alone, but there is a huge issue, but sometimes people, you need to think with your common sense.
Yeah. This is like, if you were the police officer, what would you do?
People don't give police officers enough credit.
No, they don't.
Where they're like, police officers have to think on their feet. No, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of police, not a lot, I don't know how many there is, but there are police officers who are fucking dickheads, and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Right. Well, and that's
a lot of times they get caught on film, so people think, oh, okay, there's a lot of these people. No, there's just a few bad apples.
So I don't know if you saw that Joe Rogan had Donald Trump on his podcast recently. Even Joe Rogan, he's like, all it takes is one apple to spoil the bunch, right? I would argue 95% of the cops out there are good cops, but there's that 5%. 5%. That do shady or dirty shit that gives the rest of the cops a bad name.
Or
all
that
it takes
don't
is
know
one
what they're fucking doing.
Right. All it takes is one bad cop to sit on a guy's knee for 9 minutes or whatever to make everyone else look bad.
Exactly.
And that's not true. That's not true. He does not represent the other hundreds of thousands of police officers out there amongst county, local sheriffs, and state police, and even the FBI. The FBI, I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, is a pretty fucking crooked organization right now of who's leading the FBI. The people who actually work in the FBI doing the job, going after domestic terrorism, going after drug deal and all that shit. They are good. It's the people running the FBI that are the problem. The problem is that gives the rest of the FBI a bad name because the fucking retards who are running it. But everybody else at an FBI they're probably good people. They're doing their jobs. So also, if you haven't listened to Joe Rogan with Donald Trump, you should give that podcast a listen. Great. I don't listen. That's the first time I've ever listened to a Joe Rogan podcast. I only listened to it because the Trumpster was on there, and that was a really good, nearly 3-hour podcast. I would totally give that a listen if you have 3 hours to kill. Really good podcast. So yeah, that's my award for functional idiot, is these people that think that that's an unjust killing. You're a fucking retard. So, okay. That's all we have for this episode of the Functional Idiots podcast. Episode 50 at 2 hours and 48 minutes long.
Gonna split this one in half too?
No, I don't feel like it. I only did it last time because I thought we weren't going to have an episode the week that 49 came out. No, this is going to be an extra long one. It's because Call of Duty took up an hour and a half of time.
There we go.
Actually, it took up about an hour and a half of time. So, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Fun Idiot Show. You can email us, functionalidiotspodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. What's the YouTube channel, Dylan?
Functional Idiots Productions.
Hey, my homie's there. Yes, and make sure you comment, like, and I hate to say that. If you think other people would like this podcast, share it with them. But we're not going to ask you to.
Yeah, listen. We don't even ask, to like us, all right? You can feel free to subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to. Just give our shit a listen. and see if you like it. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do.
That's right. So, and until next time, when we, I don't know, decide to do another 3-hour podcast or something like that, don't be dumb.